I am embarrassed to say I have stumbled to the finish line on our work year. The company party blew out both of my tires. This is the least prepared I've ever been for a show that we have done, because the company party careened into the ocean, and I'm just getting here to do this show after the single greatest football game ever played. And it was on the back in the televisions, and I was talking to Tristan, her dog.
Yeah. You seem pretty into it.
Yeah.
The dog does not belong at the company party when you've been here 2 days.
Everyone got a +1. So.
Amin is scared of dogs. And
scared. I'm not scared.
He was pretty frightened. He was the only one, though. The thing that made me feel like it was a good choice is that I don't know anyone. This is, like you said, 2 days. And I've got bad social anxiety, and I'm a little bit of a close talker, which is why Ollie is a service dog. And everybody was touching Ollie, and they were getting into my personal space, and I felt like it created a lot of intimacy at a place where you know a lot about intimacy as well, Dan. You had your hands all over booties and hips. You know, it was a lot of areas. Your wife's.
Trista's voice is
thank you for the clarification.
Crawling to that finish line. It's like,
Amin did Vegas and then stumbled into this. Stumbled sideways in it. Valerie asked me, was Amin drunk? And I'm like, was the bar open?
Nobody could tell. I'll tell you right now. Also, this was light work compared to what I did in Vegas. You know why? Because I didn't lose $17 million on a slot machine.
You want to talk about putting in work last night? Greg Cody and all-time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. He must have slipped a Twinkie or something. Maybe even, like, I'm telling you, every time I saw a service person walking by with drinks, they had a Miller Lite there.
Chris, I talked about this with your mother. He had a system.
It was like,
and the
it was impressive.
This is what the system was. He would order a drink from one server, then he'd order a drink from another server, and it's like cascading. And so he'd always have a beer coming to him. And my favorite part was when he got caught in his system with a full beer and another beer arrived. It's like, I didn't order that.
At one point, there was 3. At one point, I saw 3 beers in his area.
I learned last night. I'm not kidding here, okay? I don't know. Maybe we'll spend the whole show on the company Christmas party. I learned something last night that I did not know, okay? Tony thinks he's the sniper in the company. There is somebody who works for us, the person they're married to is an actual sniper.
That's sick. Who is it?
Jesus.
Yeah, no.
I thought you were talking about how Frankie was dressed.
No.
He
was Dominican Blade. That's a different story.
For sure.
Do we have pictures of Frankie?
I have a picture. I'll put it up.
I love Frankie so much. Frankie would kill anybody who walked through these doors. We are so safe here because of Frankie.
Especially if they're a vampire.
Let's start the show, a year in review. Turning over. Clear out the old and bring in the new. Turning over.
Holidays are back, Jack, drop a new track. Here with an audio almanac. We said bye-bye Billy and that was whack.
When will Stu come
You
back?
know about that Thai food lifts my mood. Zaslow is a wild dude. Nice hat, so I got the scoop. Salute Juju Gotti with the alley-oop.
What's the worst part of their life? Hey! Will Fork has got a new wife. Oh! Roy Bellamy loves to talk park. Hey! When Christmas is up, he says, does Greg have a back in my day? No! The traffic just got in his way. Oh! And then he says, you never know. Hey! Confirm it, you don't get the show. Oh!
Let's start the show, a year in review. Turning over.
We got Pablo vocal modulating. Amin's been weekend observating. Connor McDee's McOverating. Again?
The Panthers took that ass.
So let's give it to Dan because his name's on the show. And hand it to Mike because he happened to know. Now pass me the ball like Stafford to Puka. Feliz Navidad and Happy Chanukah.
Let's start the show, a year in review. Turning over. Clear out the old and bring in the new. Turning over.
pregame show.
Head to head.
Yeah. University of Miami.
So did we.
Texas A&M.
No.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hello.
Head to head is always the number one criteria for anything.
How does it rub you?
Are you shitting me?
Fake pregame show.
So did we.
I need your support.
Golden State, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
No.
Fake pregame show.
6, 7.
No.
Pregame it.
Head to head. So did we.
University of Miami.
Malaki.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Ho, ho, ho.
That kind of thing.
Zaslow, do you remember the fake pregame show?
I love hearing that so much. I mean, obviously it's not the same voice, but just going back and thinking and remembering. I told you, it's one of my favorite things to do here is to reminisce about the old days. Of course I remember fake
Okay,
pregame
so
show.
what do you remember about the fake pregame show for the uninitiated? The reason I bring it up is because I asked Chris Cody to make a bigger open than the greatest of the biggest opens for what we used to do, which is the fake pregame show on Sunday mornings with a giant voice. We'd interview a kicker and just make a mess of Sunday mornings and what. Tony, do you have any access to the fake pregame show, or was that before your time?
No, I remember the fake pregame show.
We were not the flagship of the Dolphins. I think we became the flagship of the Dolphins in our second year on air, $7.90 a ticket. But of course, originally we were not the flagship, and they wanted to do a pregame show, so they were the fake pregame show.
Yeah. So, anyways, you can probably find some stuff there that was good. And so I asked Chris, do something bigger because the UM is playing a giant game. This is the biggest game. I don't know when Texas A&M played a game this big. I know they had Johnny Manziel. I know they had the highest paid coach. I've never thought of Texas A&M in this terms. They play for the championship. Mike is flown out. Golden Cane couldn't be bothered with the company party. Couldn't be bothered. Well, sat there for Secret Santa, but I couldn't blame him when I saw someone brought a rotisserie chicken. Like, that seemed wildly inappropriate.
Somebody brought a
to
what?
me. Secret Santa.
Oh, yeah, you weren't
here
I wasn't
for
here.
it.
Yeah, I
What's
wasn't
the
here.
hijinks going on there?
Roy,
Fake gifts?
Roy, you weren't there. What are you shocked by, Roy? Roy, somebody out there, somebody thought it was appropriate at the Secret Santa bonding party to give somebody as a gift, thoughtlessly, a rotisserie chicken.
Our director, Jason, ended up with it.
You know
I
about that
love
Publix
rotisserie
rotisserie chicken? You know about that?
Oh, I love
Was it the Mardi Gras flavor?
Excellent.
You know about that Mardi Gras flavor?
Lemon pepper.
room temp.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is a rotisserie chicken an appropriate Secret Santa gift?
And the rotisserie chicken, Tony, it was sitting under the tree for 4 hours before it was open.
That's the other thing.
So somebody had sin pena, okay, brought in a rotisserie chicken, and then was just like, yeah, I'm just going to drop this right here.
We didn't smell it when it came in?
We did not.
I got a medium Dolphins hoodie.
Good
Well,
size
wait
for
a
you.
minute. So wait a minute. The way that happened.
That was gross, Dan.
All right, look.
That was gross.
Look.
Yeah, that's right, Gabe.
Okay, we can talk. You guys make an executive decision here. Do we talk Secret Santa, awkwardness of company party, or the biggest game UM and Texas A&M have played in 20 years?
Secret Santa.
Office party.
Or how drunk my dad was during that imaging I played.
Sam Darnold. That was great.
Sam Darnold. It's good. That's a good one, Juju. We saw part of the game behind us because I'm talking to Amin and he's just blowing gas in my face at the company party open bar.
Gas?
Hog first.
And someone accused him of putting a thumb in my butt, and he said, "You don't know where that thumb's been." That was like 10 o'clock.
That happened.
So hips, booty, and a thumb in the butt. That's crazy.
You got goose.
I did. Well, someone. Yeah. Well, I did.
Trisha said hips and booty. I don't know where it
Something
came from.
happened behind me. It felt like I was goosed. I turned around, and Amin said, "You don't know where this thumb has been."
It's true.
that happened. I don't know how it happened. That was 10 p.m. That's before we careened into 4 a.m. Holy shit, what did Sam Darnold do last night? Juju, were you watching this game? Because all I was looking was for Parkinson catches, and then they threw. Everyone else has a catch, and he's got one for 4 yards.
Right, I was locked in. Thursday Thunder took a big poop last night, but the game was too phenomenal to be mad at it, man. Like, somehow I came out of that game more confident in the Rams moving forward.
Those two teams could play 100 times, and all the games would look like the last two. And there's not a lot of difference between those teams, except Sam Darnold is gonna throw a bunch of interceptions, and maybe Seattle can overcome them. I wasn't watching the game. I had my back to the game, and I'm looking at Tristan. I'm like, I don't think it's an appropriate. I think
You had
I'm
your hands on hips, apparently.
I think I'm an ally. And I don't think it's appropriate for someone who's done 2 shows with us to bring the first dog to the company party when Amin's afraid of dogs.
Not afraid of dogs.
I was just trying to be a part of the culture, really.
My wife literally said, she goes, "Who brought a dog?" when Trista walked in.
See, the thing is, everybody after the fact is like, "Oh, you brought a dog? That's so weird." And everybody in the moment is like, "Oh my God, who's this sweet little baby?" And
It's called being fake.
Frauds.
They're frauds, exactly. But by the way, Dan, White Tamara, big hit at the party.
Very nice, incredibly nice. Actually introduced herself to me. Zazzle didn't do it. I didn't like that, by the way.
Charming adult.
did you call her White Tamara?
That's her name.
You were surprised that Tamara was white?
No, I guess Trista is. Apparently.
No, he called her White Tamara.
That's what we call her.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, Juju, come meet White Tamara." I'm like, "Oh, what's up, sis? I'm sorry."
I was confused, and perhaps I should not have been, by a handful of things in the awkwardness of Roy's not drinking for some reason. Roy's favorite thing is an open bar, has been for as long as I've known him. I'm looking at him, and he's like, "I'm not drinking," and I'm like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, welcome to the last 2 years, Dan.
But he was a pro's pro. He didn't have like a water. He had a mocktail.
But he said it's not my choice, and I'm like, "What? Do you have a drinking problem?" He's like, "No, I just don't. It's not my choice. I'm not allowed to drink anymore."
No, we are trying to have another baby, so
there you go,
that's
Dan.
why
How
I
do you
stopped
feel?
drinking.
Is that a thing, though?
That's how it happened, though. I'm
Yeah.
like, you think that's not confusing to me? And I'm like, open bar. This is Roy's. This is the height of all of our success.
Oh, trust me, I know, Dan.
Can you not have alcohol in the swimmers?
Yeah, you'll have to excuse my ignorance on this, but what's the relationship there?
No, it's a thing.
It
Yeah,
lowers
it
the
is.
count. Yeah, it lowers the count. That
Really?
weed, certain things lower the count. Even if you eat
Wait,
like
weed
certain
does?
things. Yeah.
Shit.
The dog is barking outside. I got to point this out. I know we're not supposed to like lift the curtain or whatever.
More like a yap.
The dog is going nuts outside.
Okay, so can we talk about
Bring
this?
him on in.
Thank you.
Come on in, Ollie.
Amin's afraid of dogs.
Not afraid.
Willow,
Willow's going to be so mad that this dog's getting on air right now.
I want now 30 seconds of honesty from you, please. What is your relationship with Jessica, Willow, that connection of you did not want Willow in the office?
Well, I mean, yeah. First of all, Willow's massive.
Massive
right?
dog. It's huge.
Right. But to Willow's credit, I don't feel great about this dog being here either. I kind of feel like just in a professional environment, we don't need pets. But the other thing is,
Not a pet.
Well, it's a dog. The other thing is, I told Trista, I don't have a problem with dogs as long as they're cool. There's one dog I know named Darla. Darla's cool, man. Darla be like, "What's up, man?" I'm like, "What's up?" And that's it. Like, the problem is most of these dogs are not cool, as evidenced by the yapping outside the door.
It means I know Darla. Like, we know who Darla is.
Darla's a dog.
Darla.
Darla's a cool-ass dog. That's what Darla is.
Chris, do you have any more sound of your father? Your father. So you leave the Christmas party. Chris dressed for a holiday party. He formalized up. Zaz wasn't wearing his Roman Reigns gear.
I thought about it.
You should have. That would have been a great bit.
White
You should have
Tamara
done it.
said no.
I thought about it.
That's as good as I've seen Zaslow look in any professional setting. He's radio. He doesn't dress like that.
This is why I got into this. I want to wear my back-to-back Florida Panthers Stanley Cup shirt like I'm wearing right now. That's why I got into this.
I feel like Zaz just didn't wear his hat.
That's why I got into this, so that I would never have to dress up.
That's right.
He wore jeans at least, which was nice.
No,
They were pants. They were
no,
not
those were
jeans.
pants.
Oh, they were pants.
Pants.
there.
Tone, come
Whatever.
on.
I wasn't paying attention.
Tony, you're all about style.
I know.
Zaz
Well,
did
my
it.
style, not his.
Zaz did it up last night, and so did Frankie.
By the way, quickly, let's point out, me, Frankie, and Amin took an amazing picture last night. And once we get Willow off the screen here, we'll throw Frankie on, who looked like Dominican Blade. And it was a excellent.
Yeah, there it is.
It was an excellent outfit. So if you can't see it, because obviously there's the black on the shirt and the black on the vest is kind of tough to see. He was wearing a vest only, no shirt underneath,
was no
with
shirt.
the blazer on top. But then he had the hat ready to go. So a plus effort from
You
Frankie.
can see Jeremy in the background yapping about the Heat.
Juju, can you help me with something? Because I'm having some difficulty with my birthday weekend and sort of what's appropriate. So if we were to throw the funniest version of that ringside tomorrow, next to you
Tonight.
or tonight? Excuse me. I'm sorry. The fight is tonight. What would be the right amount of people to send ringside or close to ringside, wherever it is the tickets are that Chris can get for tonight's Jake Paul fight? How many tickets should we buy to the fight, and who should get those tickets for us to represent at that fight correctly?
Damn, that's a lot of responsibility for the kid, but I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and put my name in the hat just because, ringside,
That's
the kid,
one.
Dan, can I say that I've heard from sources close to that arena that if we arrive there with a spaghetti bag, things will happen. It will be shown. Like we've talked with people.
I heard that rumor too.
We've talked with people in the video room at that building, and they said,
But
hey,
why aren't you doing it?
I can't tonight.
Who's going to do it?
I can if you need me.
No, that's ridiculous. We need a fat person to do it. It's got to be either me or him.
Well, there you
Zaz?
go.
Let me tell you
Drunken?
something. This was strategic where yesterday I asked Dan what time the main event is going to be. And I think he said 1 a.m. I'm so effing out.
Maybe we send Stunt Dan, and people will think it's you. Just throwing ideas, seeing what sticks.
I just want to point out right now that while, yes, we do have sources inside the building, and yes, I do believe their ability to get us on the broadcast, I think it's just adorable that Zaz thinks they're going to hold it for the main event. At 1 a.m., that's when they're going to show you guys. You don't have to be there for that. You just got to be there early enough for them to show it during the boring times where they just show random people in the crowd.
You don't think they would take time away from Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul to show me eating spaghetti out of a bag?
You know
with
what?
With a fork and spoon, by the way.
You know what? I stand corrected.
I think that we should. I really want somebody to explain what the lameness of this content opportunity is. The question is, because Meadowlark would have to pay for these tickets journalistically, what is the number of people to send there to simply get the lame viral moment of someone like Zaz eating a bag of spaghetti next to the stupidity of what this fight is? Like, how lame is that as a content opportunity that all we're trying to do is sneak into the Netflix broadcast with nonsense because we want to look ridiculous and have Juju notarizing all of this ringside?
It's not going to be ridiculous. You just get some shirts made tonight, you feel me? MetalArtMedia.com or whatever we're promoting.
AlleyOopShow.com.
We have a
You feel
website?
me? Come on, eat the spaghetti. Now we got pretty much prime real estate in promo.
Could we get Trista's dog in the building? Do
Absolutely
you think we
not.
have
Yeah, we could. I bet you we could.
service animal? We write a letter.
Service.
with
I already
you.
have a letter.
I think, Dan, you'd have to be there for that.
Yeah.
Just put it in your pocket. No one's going to notice.
I think, Dan, you'd have to be there for us to get the spaghetti in
That's
a
another
Ziploc
thing.
bag
That's
into
another
the
thing.
building.
Now,
I think I
can
can get spaghetti in.
Yeah.
That's the
I believe they
easiest.
have some sort of pasta station somewhere in that arena. Maybe we bring the Ziploc empty, and then we fill it up
With their
pasta.
spaghetti?
I'm just saying, worst
you
case
think they
scenario.
sell? Wait a minute. You think they sell spaghetti?
There is
at this?
I believe that
Media
arena,
dining, yeah.
like
At all fights, they got a nice media dining setup. Last time I went to Vegas, they had an
Nice
entire
stretch.
thing of
even
you
for
know,
the fans, I think there's a pasta station.
You know what we should do is take Zaz, we make him do that shirt, Meadowlark Media, whatever, Zazzle Show 2.0, whatever. But then as he's eating the spaghetti, he gets it in his hands and then he puts it on the shirt, white shirt. and
Zaz
just
is out. I don't want to talk
All of a
about
sudden,
ideas.
Joe Rogan's
No,
like,
wait a minute.
what's that guy doing?
Guys, I don't want to talk about ideas. Tell me something we can actually do. Zaz is saying 1 a.m.
I want to watch football
He's saying
tonight.
1 a.m. too rich for my blood. I got to get up at noon tomorrow to watch the Hurricanes. That's a lot in 11 hours.
I want to watch
Jonathan-
football and go to sleep tonight.
Jonathan Zaslow, bad teammate.
You can say whatever you want.
Big guy
It's
head.
like Tony saying no to the open.
Okay, first off, I heard that. That was rich from a lot of people in here, by the way. A lot of people. All the way down that way. I know that he was a part of it, so chose not to
He
do it.
admitted that.
This
I
guy,
admitted
right?
it.
No, I know. I'm just saying my piece
Wait,
because I
wait,
wasn't
wait.
here
All
to
right,
defend myself.
all right.
Hold
so-
on. We snitching now. Hold on.
I didn't snitch. You said it, not me.
We was in the courtroom pointing at each other now.
This is a lot to digest, and we've got a big game to get to, and I do want to talk about the University of Miami and Texas A&M. However, Tony has been sitting on 2 days of fury. He's enraged by the entirety of the show's accusations against him. Can I go back for a second? I believe Yeti, who somehow was not invited to the company party last night.
That was an oversight.
Oh, well, you're careless. So the fact, I believe that Yeti has made a certified banger. I believe that is a good song. I may not have judgment here because I'm 57 years old, so the musically astute among us would say what, please? Tony, Juju, I think you guys know.
If I would have been a part of it, it would have been great.
Yeti made something sound Latin, yet Yeti has no Latin in him. That felt good as a song to me. I'm 57 years old. My taste has aged out, perhaps. I'm not good judge on this. I thought that was a good song. The fact that you guys refused to participate in it, the accusation Tony is saying is not true. We're saying he didn't want his cool attached to what might have been a lame video. Do I have the accusation right, Juju?
I think you have the accusation a little bit wrong about Tony. Me, I can just speak for myself. I do music in real life. And so you asking me to do a song that I don't necessarily feel or, I think Rose did a great job. That's just not my expertise, that Latin flair. So I called him, though. I ain't going to chatty Cathy and call 4 people and say no. I call Yeti. I say, no, brother.
You've gone too far.
Okay, and because I would see where
Tony worked in the shadows.
The risk there for Juju, he's not going to notarize shit music, so he's not going to. But that is no indictment of Yeti. What, Tony?
No, what I was going to say is I didn't work in the shadows. I actually gave others opportunity, right? If you start thinking
He's
about
like,
what I was.
Ethan, you're doing this.
I was like, Ethan, you know what, buddy? You know what would be really good for you? You being the Santa. That would be incredible. And then all of a sudden, Ethan does a great job as Santa. People don't even know it's Ethan. It's Ethan, by the way. On the hook. Who could do it? Rose. I'm going to sing the hook. How about you sing the hook? Kirsten, the same thing. Boom, you sing the hook. All of a sudden, I'm an economy, Dan. I'm giving people businesses.
DJ Khaled.
Thank you.
Tony Collado, you good teammate.
Thank you. I do have a response to all the things that were said. If you want.
Yes, I do want to give
long
you.
Tweet?
I want to give. Wait a minute. What we did to Tony.
Tweet.
What? Okay. I feel like as a show we put Tony in a bad spot because he had no way to defend himself for 2 days against the accusation that Tony, who's been hustling for years around here, wouldn't want to try something artistically where he would get a shot to star in a video. But director Jason did say that you did not tell him that you weren't doing it until the very last day, which made him then rewrite the entirety of everything he was doing there because you bailed at the very last minute. So
that's fair.
Okay, so the floor is yours. So Jason was trying to make this video for 3 days.
I'm being told he bailed the day of.
No. I bailed the minute before. I was like, hey, we're done with lunch. You ready to do it? And I'm like, yeah, no. Rose, I'm going to need you to sing the hook. Ethan, I got a great opportunity for you, buddy.
You were delegating.
Zaz did well, too.
That's exactly right. That's like, I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man, right? Ethan, here's your star turn right here. Boom. All of a sudden, maybe you get on Mystery Kate next week. I don't know.
All right. So if we're all being honest, did we think Jason was going to make something unspeakably lame and we didn't want our names attached to it? Can we be 100% honest?
I don't know. All I know is for me, I was extremely busy. It's the busiest. I've never been busier, actually.
Busy. He was literally sitting at the table out there.
Jason cool as hell, man. Jason be making a lot of good stuff around here. So I didn't assume it was lame. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
I got it, Juju. Thank you for. I think we have clarified all of this except for Trista bringing the dog to the company party.
Well, I was just going to say, just a cosign for Juju. Do you remember when, you probably don't, but do you remember when Drake made Views and it was this like flare of Caribbean and everybody was like, what is Drake doing?
Dan, you remember that.
I'm sure you remember. It was all the rage. And everyone was like, wow, Drake's appropriating Caribbean music, which he has no connection to.
Controller.
Exactly.
By the way, we look very happily back on Views. Very good album, by the way.
It was. That's what Juju is trying to avoid, is like, what does Juju have? I know that his DoorDash name is Julio, but that's the only connection that he has to Latin culture.
Stop snitching.
My bad.
Would you like my comment, Dan?
Yes, please.
Thank
the floor
you.
is yours. Tony,
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I in some ways, I'm sorry that it has taken this long to actually give you the room to defend yourself against an assault of allegations that you.
Such a long, like Diego Pavia thinks your tweet was long, dude.
He thinks that? Maybe he's part of this tweet. All right. Nobody's bigger on Christmas than me, folks. Love the holidays. Love the reason for the season. Jesus Christ, tremendous. But fake news smear campaign for the Le Batard Show. The biggest. These low-energy losers are running a witch hunt during the local hour, saying I skipped their little holiday intro rap because I was scared of losing my cool card. Total disaster. Fake news. Sad. Don't even get me started on Chris Cody. Fraud. Played both sides. By the way, as an aside, he was like, you can't do this. You can't do that.
That's not true.
He's like, he told me personally, he took me aside and literally grabbed my arm and said, please don't do this. I care about you. Don't do this.
You're lying.
Now I'm lying? Okay, fine. We'll keep going.
Your Honor, look at all the snitches you
That's not, I'm just being truthful, Your Honor. Zaz?
I mean,
I'm being honest.
Yeah, honesty is what we need.
Thank
in my
you.
court.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the real story right now. My life is huge. Massive deals. Tremendous things happening. Schedule more packed than ever. It could be, if I would have done it, I would have won the Golden Globe like Dan said. And that's it. They're jealous, folks. Very jealous. Merry Christmas anyway to the haters and losers. So that was my comment. I wanted to make sure everybody knew.
emoji, 3 American flags.
3 American flags, of course. 3 times for the champs.
ChatGPT, please write me a tweet in the voice of DJT to respond to the DLS.
That was all off the heezy. No GPT needed.
Well put.
You were fired up. You were mad at us.
I'm at my in-laws' house, and all of a sudden I see a thing says Happy Holidays except for Tony. And I was like, oh, what does this have to do with me? And then I listened to the local hour, completely bashing from everybody here. It's insane. And maybe I warranted.
I think it's a good song, and I think we should be proud to be it's not really easy to make music that's not corny and terrible in the sports sphere. Do you hear a lot of it? Like Yeti, how is he not invited to the party? Oh, and another thing. Ron McGill's charity was supposed to get money from the highlight thing, and no one even invited Ron McGill to anything. He was supporting that highlight team. How are you so careless, Chris Cody?
Welcome to the season, Dan. Yeah, the league moved on from Ron McGill. We didn't have any control over that.
Didn't Ron leave upset last night?
It would be awkward to invite Ron. He's like the ex. Like the league made us break up with Ron. That was not enough. Yeah, you think we kicked Ron out?
But Ron didn't know you guys had won the championship.
Well, that's a little awkward when he gets kicked out. Like, what are we going to be like? Hey, Ron, come celebrate with us. You're not with us anymore because, like, if it's awkward.
He left last night pretty early, and I was kind of surprised, but I thought he just had another, event to go to.
No, he told me I'm dead to him.
His feelings are hurt.
No, I know. I felt bad. I could have invited him, but the league moved on from him as our sponsor for their own reasons that we didn't have anything to do with.
No one told me this.
Well, we were not happy about it. And we're celebrating with our current sponsor.
Yeah, that money could have went to Ron's foundation.
Yeah. Wasn't our choice, clearly.
Your championship stole charity money from Ron and the Animals.
That's fair.
And no one invited him to the party.
That I feel bad about. I couldn't have done anything about the sponsorship stuff, but
why was Yeti not invited to the party? We will do next.
He lives in Georgia.
Yeti, I'm sorry that we did not invite you to the party. We have aired there.
So does Juju.
If only as someone who lived in Georgia were here.
And I'll get to the game. It's not appropriate to work. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is it appropriate to work somewhere for 2 days in a studio and then bring your dog to the holiday party?
Service dog.
Can I also put up, is it appropriate to send work tasks to your crew at 5 p.m. on company holiday day?
I needed an open for the fake pregame show.
Me and Jeremy are like, this mother.
Did Jeremy make one?
Yeah, he did.
Let's see what he's got. That we should, for example, be doing a live stream off of the game tomorrow because it's a pretty important game. But we had a holiday party, and people need time off for the holidays. So you think it's wrong that I asked Jeremy and you to make some music before our last show?
No. I thought just the tie. Like, I'm literally about to leave my house to head to the party, and I get the text.
And so the work reflects that.
If you hear the one that I did, my dad's work parts, I did that last night after the party.
So let's talk about...
I have the raw footage of me getting those clips from him.
Please, let's do this. Because you guys have it right. There was no more impressive thing at this holiday party than the surgical way. And I'm telling you, there's a sniper there. I learned last night that amongst us, somebody with our group is married to a sniper, an actual person. If you're a sniper once, you're always a sniper, correct? If you were in the United States military?
Yeah, that doesn't go away.
You can grow.
But there was
more than a sniper.
It's like riding a bike.
You're once a sniper, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Once a sniper, always a sniper. Nothing more impressive. And I'm talking to him about being a Navy SEAL and the height of the military surgical incisions on discipline. And what I'm seeing nearby is Greg Cody ordering beers in a way that's more Navy SEAL team than anything I've seen. He had people coming from every angle, including his wife and me. He had a factory line of beer last night.
The wait staff was impressed. They were like, you have another one?
it was such a sophisticated system. I talked about this with Chris's mom for a while. We're like, yo, this is incredible how he's got this going. It's almost like a Rob Peter, Pay Paul kind of situation.
When I was ordering drinks last night, one server would come up, hey, can I get you a drink? I said, of course, makers on double on the rocks. And then like 2 minutes later, another server comes up like, can I get you something to drink? And my response was, he already took my order. Thank you. I mean,
my dad in that spot every time, Miller Lite.
Right.
You ask him if you need a drink, Miller Lite.
Anyone who comes up to him, can I get you a drink? He's just giving his drink
And
order.
he has my mom going around multiple times.
That's
My
the
mom
other
comes
thing.
up to me and she's like, I'm looking for the waiter. Your dad needs a beer. So it's like, it is, like I'm telling you, impressive. And so after that, I needed some work parts because yesterday before the party, I was able to throw my work parts together, but I needed some fake pregame show. That type stuff. So I had a drunk Greg Cody do it. And I have, here's a 45-second
So wait,
clip.
this is you
Here's
working
me
in the middle of the
Uber.
night.
No,
Hold
this
on.
is me in an Uber last night, heading back to my house with my dad, where it's just me shoving a phone in front of his face and being like, whisper fake pregame show. All right, so whisper fake pregame show.
I don't know what you mean.
Fake pregame show.
I don't know what that means.
Fake pregame show.
Fake pregame show.
Whisper it.
Do it.
Fake pregame show.
Again.
Fake pregame show.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Biggest game in 20 years.
University of Miami.
University of Miami.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
That kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Whisper it. That kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Just do again. Fake pregame show.
Oh, for the love of God. Pregame show.
Fake pregame show.
Fake pregame show.
Pregame in it.
Pregame in it.
Pregame in it.
Pregame in it.
So I took that. I took those work parts, and I was able to make this. Oh, wait, that's Jeremy's. Mine's right here. And I was able to make this.
Fake pregame show.
Head to head.
Yeah.
University of Miami.
So did we.
Texas A&M.
No.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Hello.
Head to head is always the #1 criteria for anything. How does it rub you?
Are you shitting me?
Fake pregame show.
So did we.
I need your support.
Golden State, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
No.
Fake pregame show.
6-7.
No.
Pregame in it.
Head to head.
So did we.
University of Miami.
Milwaukee.
Biggest game in 20 years. That kind of thing.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, you did the most
Thank
you
you.
could.
All right, good job, Chris. Good job. Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I thought of this. I was like, should I do it on the way to the party? I'm like, you know what? This will be funnier after the party.
Well,
He had such a hard time comprehending what you were. I don't
I don't know what
understand.
that means.
I don't know what that means.
This game in
It
20
just
years.
means say
Yeah,
it.
All right, so whisper fake pregame show.
I don't know what you mean.
Fake pregame show.
I don't know what that means.
There's no meaning. It's just whisper it. That's the thing.
And then my mom chimes in. He just wants you to whisper it.
well.
It's like a child, like a baby.
Okay, he's not. It's not just that he's a baby. Just so that you understand the perspectives from which I see the Codys. Erlene Cody is a wildly impressive human being wearing a Rolex for 30 years of service on her wrist because she runs a gangster law firm. And she's wandering off to get that guy a beer. That guy.
It's like what she's so worried about.
No,
it.
that guy needs another beer. As if he doesn't have 7 people and now the sniper bringing in beers. Me too. Everybody's just funneling in beers. She's walking away, mumbling, I'm a serious person at work. I'm an important person. Why am I getting this fool his 12th beer when he's got 3 other people bringing him 12 beers? So that he can make that magic.
Erlene definitely the biggest gangster in the party last night. She was cool as hell. Like, we talked for about 10 minutes because a couple weeks ago, Greg and Erlene came to Atlanta, and so me and my girl took them out. You feel me? And we got way closer. So Erlene, man, she's so funny, man. Salute to Erlene.
She's awesome. So is White Tamara. Yep. Everything you just said about Erlene, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like White Tamara. This accomplished, smart person, very charming, and I'm like, and this guy, you gotta dress him. You gotta dress him. before you go out.
My wife's a huge fan of Amin now. I think they're making plans. Like, my wife's a big Amin guy now.
Zaslow, can you please, as someone who's covered college football all season, Lucy Rodine is I think she's gonna be at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So's Ron McGill's kid, who's enjoyed following them around. Let's break this down as quickly as we can through this prism, okay? I believe this is the best team the University of Miami has faced, and I think Marcel Reed is the most dangerous quarterback they've faced. I know C.J. Carr has been very good this year and doesn't turn the ball over, but C.J. Carr cannot run, did not run all season, and he was playing in his first game against Miami. So I think, even though Kevin Jennings of SMU is very good, I think Marcel Reed at quarterback is the greatest threat they have. But Greg was telling everyone at the party, and I think he's got this right, that Miami's advantages on both lines of scrimmages make it so that Miami is gone from a 5.5-point dog to a 2.5-point dog and is getting healthy, and I believe can expose the SEC as a fraud from this perspective. Arkansas lost 10 games in a row. Arkansas put up 42 on Texas A&M. They didn't put up 42 on anybody else. When I saw Arkansas play Notre Dame dragged Arkansas across the line of scrimmage. I think these SEC teams, because they're playing against each other, hasn't quite seen something like the Miami offensive line or the Miami defensive line, because you think of the SEC as Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma. They're not what they were, none of them. Those are hugely flawed teams. Texas A&M hasn't beaten anybody in a conference that people think is good. I do think there's the chance Miami drags them.
No. I mean, we just haven't talked about the most important element of this
I know where
game.
this is going.
I just feel like I really wanted to say something to Mike, but I know Mike has been here a long time.
She went to Oregon. You know where this is going.
And probably would have slit my throat if I would have said this like right away, 2 seconds in, proverbially. 2018.
I don't think that's how you say
No, that was bad. That was bad. That was matriculate level.
Also, Dan, I don't think that's how you say it either.
That was bad. That was bad. We're both having a bad word day. Oregon led Stanford 31-28, under a minute left, holding the ball on the 43-yard line. And instead of just kneeling down, Mario Cristobal called for a handoff. And instead, Verdell fumbled. Stanford recovered, tied the game, and won it in overtime. Mario Cristobal doesn't win the big games. Wow. And he never has. And it's always the result of something that he's done in error. And I think that will come to rear its ugly head, proverbially, tomorrow.
I don't know about that, Trista. He played the biggest games this year outside of the SMU game and the Louisville game, obviously.
That was
but
a bad one.
The big games on the schedule, Notre Dame, like that was a win. They won that game convincingly. We always talk about it, but that first drive of the second half where they went for like
16 plays,
9-minute drive where they ran the ball up the middle 6 times in a row, like that shows you how strong their offensive line is. And then
I think they're just scoring on them.
And then when you flip on the defensive side of the ball, like these guys talk shit about Ruben Bain. It's like, okay, one-on-one Ruben Bain. Don't send a tight end to help. Don't send a back to chip. That guy is a menace, and he's going to wreck everything they want to do. My only worry is that the Canes, looking through their schedule, didn't really play a quarterback that was dual threat in the way that they have struggled with Haynes King.
Jennings isn't this.
And he's not that whatsoever. Marcel Reed is the guy that can get outside and really create stuff with his feet. So it's a lot about the containment, those edges, Mesidor, Bain, they're going to have to get around and then force him to get up the pocket. But the linebackers are going to have to keep an eye on Marcel Reed so he doesn't escape.
Do you agree, as someone who's a college football expert, you have been saying the schedule of Texas A&M, when you look at it, you're not going to see a whole lot of impressive things. Marcel Reed is averaging 5 yards a carry. He's their second leading rusher. Their receivers, they've got 3 very good receivers. They can score on anybody.
Not going to sit here and tell you I'm not worried. It's the biggest crowd the Canes will have played in front of all season, like by a wide margin, all right?
It's the best team they will have played.
Yep. Yeah. And this Texas A&M team, 1 loss in the SEC is super impressive, obviously. They've played all the bottom-tier SEC teams. They have no wins. They didn't play any of the top ones. The best SEC team they played is Texas, and Texas dominated them in the second half. I don't think Texas is that good. I think the Canes are going to score on them tomorrow. Canes might take that ass.
I got the Canes. I got the Canes by 12. Wow. Get them out of here.
Trista's alone here. Everybody's out here now. We've swung wildly on this.
Homers.
I don't care.
Okay, indifference is a good way to end the segment before the biggest game in 20 years for UM football.
Dan says goodbye, sweet Clevelander.
I should tell the audience that we've got a bit of an emotional week, I would say, here this week as we are leaving this studio. It's been an eventful 2 years where the show has struggled and groaned under the weight of trying to build a business. And we're going to move into new studios. Everything is moving after, I think it's close to 10 years here. And we're going to remember some of the things from the Clevelander because as expensive as the property value has gotten around here, the neighborhood has really deteriorated. There has been
So is my health.
There's been a lot of
But that's your fault.
shootings here recently and assassinations, plural. And we need to get out of here. And next
And that
week,
move is brought to you by Miller Lite. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
next week is going to be a little bit difficult because we're going to be in the change, and these are not your problems, they are our problems, but we ask for yet more patience after 2 years of trying to build this thing. We're excited about getting into new studios, and we will remember the Clevelander throughout the rest of the week here because one of the great memories I have, Stugotz, it really is one of my favorites as I've gotten late in life and have learned to appreciate some of this nonsense that we get to do every day, is the weekend before we were going to go on ESPN radio and start with whatever it is we were doing with them. They were going to make this studio look like all the other studios, which is just blue paneling behind us that would be nondescript. And my brother and I spent the entire weekend here putting all of this stuff up. And the reason that it's one of my favorite memories is because I remember the screaming phone calls on Monday when no one had been informed that that's what we would look like. And they didn't want us to look like that. Or no one had given them a heads up, I should say. It's not that they didn't want us to look like that. It's that they were going for homogenized at the beginning, and we put up all these tiles that we're at some point here going to just auction off because they've been here for 10 years representing us as we make a move to become a bigger business. We've got, Mike, do you know how many employees we have now? I don't know how many employees we have now.
I walked into to today's pre-production meeting, and I was a little stunned at how many people were in that room, considering it's just jarring seeing how we've started. And there was a lot of people here when we were doing HQ. It was even tighter back then in many respects because we had the equipment. But I think the stark contrast is from the pandemic days when ESPN would only allow you and me in these studios and people were zooming in. So maybe I'll have fonder memories when we get out of here, and I'll look back on some of the stuff that we did here and created here fondly, but I cannot wait to get out of this godforsaken building, thanks to Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Just 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Winner
of 3 World Beer Cups. They don't just give those things away.
You have said that this place is haunted. You have come in hot from L.A. talking way too much about sponsorships and deals. We are moving. This is a growing business, and part that you left out was the answer to my question. How many employees do we have?
I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Because there's a difference between full-time employees and part-time employees, but in terms of like people that are here, it seems like 87.
It's not here, but it's not just here, but it's a lot of people. It's much, much more than what's on air as we try to
On this episode of The Alley Oop, you know it's not a show without besmirching. And on this episode, we started off by besmirching the NBA Cup win for the New York Knicks.
We is a stretch, but we also cover AI in the flesh getting attacked by Kyrie Irving. We also choose unrivaled teams. Neither here nor there. Lock in.
Lock in.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
We have competing stats of the day. We've got Dave Damashek coming on in a second, but I didn't want to get away from what it is that Trista said there because she is espousing the absolute viewpoint that will allow everyone to laugh at Miami after Miami has lost when she says, this is the game Mario Cristobal always loses. Without exception, he will lose others as well, but he has never actually won this football game, and therefore I will not believe it until after I've seen it happen because you're better than Louisville. You're better.
Thank you.
I don't know how to say it. Louisville. You're better than SMU, and you lost to them, and you lost to them because of you, because you're stubborn running it up the middle, because you're turning the ball over, because Carson Beck is throwing 4 turnovers. You're getting out-coached by Brom, clearly and obviously, where he just throws the ball fast every time, and they get 4 interceptions, and they drag you at home. And then they dragged you at home. Louisville, you were lucky to be in that game late because they fumbled. Perfect game against Mario Cristobal. You're saying he's always going to lose this game this time too.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason that you guys are saying this is very clearly because of Miami and Florida bias. Nobody in the world thinks that Miami can win it all. What? Like, nobody. No real national media is like, you know who has a real shot against Ohio State if you end up winning this Texas A&M game? Miami really has a shot. Like, no one believes that.
Have you not listened to the greatest coach of all time and Nick Saban, who says this team is probably the best in the country? Does he not know ball, Trista?
Listen,
I think he does.
He knows ball.
Okay,
We know that.
Just make sure.
But you act like just whatever is being said on TV is a real take and not just a posturing take. Nobody believes Miami is like the team primed to win it all. It's the hardest path. So why
They've got to win 3 games. They've got to win 3 games against possibly Georgia, Ohio State, and this is the easiest of the 3.
3 to get to the national championship.
And then win the national championship.
Yeah.
And she's saying nobody believes that. But I would argue that nobody believes Mississippi could do it, that Miami's one of the 5 teams that most people would say, yes, I believe they're balanced enough to do it. They have all of the things you want, a veteran quarterback, a healthy defense, a pass rush, and an offensive line that's bigger than Texas A&M's.
And a star receiver in Malachi Toney. Like, you have all of those pieces, and you start looking around and saying, okay, maybe the only thing that isn't up to par with all the other teams is coaching.
Mario.
Yeah, agreed. And I agree that. But I will guarantee this right now. I will guarantee it today.
Wait a minute. It happens to know beyond. A guarantee today from Tony.
I got a guarantee with a capital T at the end, okay, for my name, Tony.
Nippy. Okay.
I guarantee you that if the Canes are up, I guarantee you that if the Canes are up at the end of the game and there's an opportunity to knee the ball to ice the game away, Mario will knee the ball to ice the game away. I guarantee
that ball.
it.
Yeah.
Here, go. Show it to him. Right here, look.
I really thought,
Bam, guaranteed.
Look, we got to do more guarantees with Tony. Ends with a capital T. Dave Damashek is with us, and he thinks the CFB tournament is a waste of time.
A great take.
I'm infuriated by this. Check out this week's episode of Football America wherever you get your podcasts. I'm urging you to do that because Chris Long, I'm going to believe without having heard what he and Damashek did. I'm going to guess that is going to be both wildly entertaining and informative because I've heard Chris Long's analysis on Tua since it began, and I think he's been like sort of dead on in a way that's more accurate than just about anybody I've heard about correctly assessing what this person is. And so I would guess that what Damashek brought out in the segment was real illumination if you want to get good Tua talk. But what do I have wrong here, Damashek, on what I imagine Football America is doing today? Because I haven't heard anybody better on the subject of Tua than Chris Long.
So far, so good, Dan. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all. I don't know why I didn't get an invite to the good party. I got lukewarm garlic balls. Thanks again, everybody, for that. While you guys bend the elbows and drink, except for Roy, who I feel bad for, can't have a little bit of booze. What would the Earth's population be if it was left to the fellas to lay off the booze for 10 months? You're right about Chris Long. We talk about Tua. That's the tip of the iceberg, though. We go on and on about all matter of things. To the point, I don't want to sound like too big a Scrooge, except I can't really avoid that reality where this college football playoff is concerned. By the way, I see you there. Shout out to Broadway Tone there. Got to run off the field wagging your finger after you make it.
I have the mint coat too, Damashek.
Do you? Nice. Hello to Amin once again. Amin is wrong. And I'll tell you why. Zaz is right.
Go on.
About Tua. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about this, or should we talk about this? My apathy towards the college football playoff.
Let's talk about Tua.
No, Tua.
I want to hear how you think I'm wrong
And
about
Zaz is
something
right.
that Zaz could be right on.
Also, I know what myapathy means, but I don't think Roy does. So can you explain what myapathy means to Roy?
I don't know either. I heard someone smart say it, and I thought I'd try to pass it off myself.
Is that one word or two words?
I don't know.
It's
idea.
my app. It's 2 words. It's possessive.
Yeah, it'd be a good website. Zaz is right about Tua. Well, first of all, where the football of it is concerned, yeah, I mean, clearly, as they say, as Warren Sapp has said for 20 years now at least, the defensive coordinators of pro football are going to adjust more quickly than any other organism on the planet Earth. And so they see what a quarterback is, what his preferences are. They take that away. The quarterback adjusts to that. Then the coordinators adjust again. And so it goes back and forth for the entirety of that guy's career. Tua got figured out about 3 or 4 years ago, and that's it. He had nowhere else to go. He is like a starting pitcher making his first go around the league, and he shuts down everybody. Then the batters look at some tape, they figure out what he's trying to do, and then they start hitting him or they don't. And that's what happened with Tua. What is bad is, though, what Zaz is 100% right about, and Amin is like one of these cools who's he's one of the actors who's behind the scenes, and he knows what goes on behind the curtain, and Zaz and I are mere audience members, mere paying customers. We don't want to see that crap out on the field. You ask us, the paying public, to buy into, we gotta win this game, this battle, our Warriors wearing our team's colors. At the end of the game, if you want to play grab ass with those guys, go do it in the bowels.
That was Dan last night.
I mean, listen, right? Like, you want to do it? Go do it
With his
underneath
wife.
the stadium where we can't see it. I don't want to look at that. What you need is a little WWE in your lives. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the American hero, and the Iron Sheik had a bitter rivalry.
Dan, you know about that hacksaw?
I just wanted to do 30 straight minutes of asking video to go get me Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik video, and then I remembered all the things the Iron Sheik did, and I immediately regretted my. But I wanted to just do a 30-minute wrestling podcast.
He's an American hero?
right there.
No, Duggan was
That's what I'm saying. He's an American. Why is he an American hero?
Because he took a 2x4, friend, and he stapled a Old Glory to it. Ain't that enough? And he used to wave it before and after his fights.
I like it.
To stick it to the Sheik.
I
And
love
the Sheik
it.
didn't
I'm
know
in.
what to do with
Okay.
himself. He was a hateful soul. Now, they didn't like each other, and they would show that in the squared circle. Now, okay, they were later found in a car burning some tree and drinking some beers together.
Little
But at least
yayo,
they had
maybe.
At least they had the dignity to do that out of the sight of the viewing public.
Right.
Okay, Johnny Law picked them up, and that's that. But Tua out there laughing it up with Jalen Ramsey. Do you have any sense of the moment, man? Like, well, they're human beings. They're three-dimensional people. Not in that context, I mean. They're not. I don't care I don't care what your backstory is. That's for Tuesdays with the feel-good pieces that roll when there's nothing to do on Sports Center. That's when you roll in. You tap into the origin story of how he was born without a leg and all of that kind of stuff. You don't do that right out. You don't do that right after the game. Like, oh, Jalen Ramsey and Tua are old friends. You don't get it. No, what you don't get, football, is that we don't want that grab ass.
Yep.
We want you to at least Meet us. You ask us to delude ourselves and dislike these other people because they wear the wrong logo on their hats. You got to meet us halfway, football players, and not be doing that crap out on the field 2 seconds after your season ends.
He's right. He's right. He's right.
He's right about you being right?
He's right about me being right.
Right, of course I'm right. Zaz is right.
You and I, Dave, you and I are Hacksaw. Amin's Iron Sheik.
Yeah,
I don't like the
Hey,
implications of that. I don't like the implications of that.
Whoa, wait a minute. No.
Zaz and I are training. We're eating lukewarm garlic balls and burning tree in the car. Me and Zaz. That's what you would expect.
Accidental racism.
Tony saw the Iron Sheik. It's
I've
like
never seen a
It's
picture
like
of him.
Tony discovered. Wait a minute, we're allowed to be this racist in wrestling? Oh yeah.
What's his nationality?
No, the Iron Sheik.
American?
Look, he wasn't as bad as Kamala, who was from Mississippi and did nothing but
Way
slap
worse.
his
Way worse.
belly. Like Kamala spoke full Creole, and they pretended like he just didn't speak English and slapped his belly in order to just be racist.
Oh, Dan, don't
Hacksaw.
even get started on Coco Beware.
Please don't.
Junkyard
Please
dog
don't.
wearing a chain around his neck. Sheesh. Yeah, it got pretty dark there for a while. It was pretty bad. But yeah, listen, I'm glad Zaz and he's in the penalty box because he's a man of justice. That's how it goes. I don't understand this world.
Guys, get him a microphone so in there he and Damashek could geek out on wrestling, because I've been wanting Zaz to do a wrestling podcast, but you have to explain, Damashek, to Tony, who doesn't know anything, just how ridiculous that Iron Sheik thing was. And incidentally, he just was a prolific, allegedly crack addict as well as an added bonus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's good for him. I also like that that a lot of the wrestlers in yesteryear weren't muscle-bound steroid guys. They were just like kind of big guys. They were just kind of like a little bit bigger than the average human being, and that was enough to become a wrestler. Remember the guy Piper's best pal? He always had a broken arm for like 8 years. Had a broken arm, but the cast didn't make it over the hand. It was just over his forearm. He always had that, and he used it as a weapon. Those were the good times of WWE. But now I want to talk about college football, because I know you're excited about the U, and I feel bad. I feel like I'm announcing to the world that I don't believe in Santa right now, but I'm not excited about the college football playoff, and I think some of it has to do with the fact that I'm an old man and I still pine for. I used to dig my heels in the late 20th century on the virtues of the bowl system, and the primary one was that New Year's Day was maybe the best day on the sports calendar. The 5 bowl games, pristine, and at the end of it, at the end of the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl, when you put your head on the pillow before you had to go back to school the next day, you knew who the national champion was. And if you did that right now, I submit that would be a cleaner way to evaluate who number one is in the year of the Lord 2025, or maybe on the first day of 2026. Dig. All this jive, I know I know it's delightful for everybody to be admonished repeatedly by Kirk Herbstreit and Joel Klatt and everybody else about how you don't really get how it works. But plain and simple, Indiana v. Georgia in the Rose Bowl or anywhere else, all hash is settled. Is there any argument after that? Do we need all this jive? Do we need all the hooey and applesauce of arguing about Alabama?
Again with hooey and applesauce.
That's with both of them. That's right, Dan. That's exactly what you get.
Again with hooey and applesauce. Your obsession with hooey and applesauce is not. Let it go, man.
Hooey and the Bluffers.
Right.
It's a crutch.
Lukewarm garlic balls. That's what I'm going with.
Well, that's why you weren't invited to the party. Everyone knows that they didn't want garlic breath there. Just eating all the garlic rolls, eating the Metal Arc budget and garlic rolls. Merry Christmas.
But am I right, though, Dan? You're an old man. You get it. The Fiesta Bowl used to kick it off on New Year's Day. You'd roll out of bed hungover, and that was the best, and it was always 2 high-scoring teams. I don't know how they always arrived at 2 shoot-it-out teams, but it was always delightful. And then on the heels of that, the Cotton Bowl with the Southwestern Conference's best. Usually it was Texas against some independent team, and now we were off and rolling, and then the granddaddy of them all was a sight to behold with Keith Jackson, and then you had the Orange and Sugar, and if we had that, here's what it would look like. Okay, I'll stop talking. Go ahead, please.
You are correct in saying that it used to be 2 bowl games for everything. That was easier. New Year's Eve was lovely. But you're arguing right now against more football games than matter. Like you have a losing argument because there's just more football on more days, and the bowl systems have been eaten up, and now you get to guess whether 5 teams might be able to win the championship because you've made it more random. Like
I agree with that.
You're longing. Like, I don't know if this is the perfect metric to decide the best team, but you're just giving the customer more football that matters. Instead of 2 bowl games, you got a bunch of them.
That's the way to placate the masses, is right. It's more football, and you're a curmudgeon if you're complaining about it. But if you believe in merit in evaluating who the best team is, we had to get off this old system.
Jake Paul is fighting for a championship of some sort tonight.
I mean, listen, but as we've now experienced with Mike Ryan and countless others, there's always going to be an argument. If it's 12 teams, well, the 13th team got screwed. If it's a 4-team tournament, the 5th team got screwed. It'll expand to 16, and then the 17th team will get screwed. There's no listen. The virtue of the old system was, whether it was the vote on it at the end of New Year's Eve or a 2-team tournament, there was none of this arguing about 2-loss team versus a 3-loss team deserving a shot at number 1. The old system was unique. I didn't say distinctive, Dan. I said unique.
No, the
one.
The part that I'm laughing about is you are informing these people while longing for the previous time that is factual. He is not making that up. I want you guys to imagine whenever it is that the last game's played, that we don't still know who the championship is going to, because we have to wait until the morning, until all of the voters, until someone has woken up, some writer in Louisiana at 1 o'clock at night and said, who do you think should be the champion? That is how Damashek.
Oh, Nebraska. Okay.
Damashek wants the voters. We used to have to wait till like Monday afternoon after Saturday games to know if the
There used to be co-champions. There used to be co-champions. Well, you're splitting a championship. Give me a break.
Okay, once a decade, you did have that. And by the way, I mean, look at what everybody's doing here. Sitting around, I'm across Football America from you guys, and we're talking about football, debating who would beat this team and who would beat that. That's fun. I consider that an enjoyable use of time to debate that kind of stuff. That's what it led to. And is this any more satisfying, arguing about Notre Dame or Alabama or Miami and who deserves into the tournament? It's the exact same thing. You have arrived exactly what everybody had to get away from in the late stages of the 20th century and early portions of the 21st was exactly what we're doing anyway, which is arguing about, but now we have let people less than the very best teams into the conversation. Now we're talking about Notre Dame, who rendered themselves irrelevant by losing a second game in September. That should have been the end of them, and that used to be the way. And like I say, as somebody who, forget the ratings and fan engagement and all of that. Yeah, more sports is better. Yes, I enjoy watching sports as it happens. But also, if you believe in merit, the greatest system that I'm aware of in American sports history was the old World Series. One league's champ plays the other league's champ. Best of 9.
Dave,
World Series. That was the best.
Best of 9. Anyways, Dave, I agree with you. Like, back in the day, it was like, all right, what if this team played this team? Wouldn't that be sick? Now it's like, oh, no, this team is going to play this team. And now we actually get to see the game. So instead of talking about seeing the game, now we actually get to see the game. So you want to talk about the game. I want to play and watch the game.
Oh, I know, but except that Kirk Herbstreit and everybody else has to cry about James Madison and Tulane being in there.
Dear God, thank God.
Where did that come from?
God. Thank God it's back.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
Nobody can shut that guy up.
All right.
Garlic
Now,
rolls can.
if you're new here, when that music plays, we go to our magic creative content.
Don't explain the show. Don't explain the show.
Okay.
Wow.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for explaining the show.
God, shut him up. Is that what you did? That's what I sounded like?
Yes.
Spot on.
Sheik was Iranian, by the way.
Was naturally?
Iranian.
Oh, he died, Tony.
Persian.
Well, I'm saying, but he was,
Here's
right?
what Chris Long and I talked about. Here's a great. Let's forget the college football.
The music is playing. Sorry, Dave.
He's not respecting the magic crate.
Does he not get how this works? Shut up, Dave.
Mute him. Let him talk to himself. Just mute his mic. Just mute his microphone. You got to respect the magic crate of content.
All right. What were you most wrong about in 2025?
Wow.
No, look at everyone kind of like stroke their chins and kind of look up to the heavens. What was I wrong about? I'll tell you what I was most wrong about.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's great, guys. That's exactly how the game is played. I now long for Damashek talking.
I can't lie. I thought the Celtics was going to beat the hell out of the Knicks.
I was wrong both times on the Chiefs. When I said they were done and they weren't, and then I said you guys were right and you weren't.
You were right both times.
Both times I was wrong. I was doubly wrong on the Chiefs. Now they're not in the playoffs. Do you guys have that sound, please? Because you buried me in it. You buried me in the sound that I had on the Chiefs where how do I manage to get it right and get it wrong twice? And it's just because you guys bullied me. Y'all got Rasheed
Intestinal
Rice.
fortitude.
Two
That's what it
games
was,
of
Dan.
Rasheed
You're
Rice.
missing it.
It's Amin's advice to Greg Cody. Just hang strong on being right, and you'll be right.
Mike McDaniel's looking for conviction. He didn't find it in you.
I am sure the Chris Paul stuff on Tua is really good. Can you explain to us in a condensed form, please, the best of what you've got on Football America with Chris Long? Because the Tua analysis of Chris Long has been better than I've heard anywhere.
Yes, he's very proud of himself. He was right on a number of subjects
What'd he say?
in the news in America. Well, listen to the show. I mean, we really got into the behavior after the game. I mean, we agree. I think it's settled hash. He's an outmoded quarterback in 2025. They figured him out, and that's all there is to say about it. I do wonder if there's a team out there like what Denver was able to do, pawning off Russell Wilson and by eating some of the contract. If there's a team out there that would look at Tua, I really highly doubt that team exists come 2026. What Chris Long and I did talk about, though, here's a great thing. I said to him, want to jazz up the NFL playoffs a little bit. How about, and what I was right about, what I was wrong about this year was I thought the Ravens were going to be the number one seed. As it turns out, they're just not that good a team. But what if at the end of the wild card round weekend, we punctuated it? The cherry on top is the number one seeded team that didn't play in wild card weekend. The head coach and their star player go to a podium and they announce who they've chosen to play in the divisional round. How exciting would that be?
I love that.
So wait, explain that. So the team that didn't play, the number one seed, gets to choose the lower seed that they play in the next round?
Yes, they get to go. It's not like it's assigned to them because, you deserve certain privileges along with not having to play in Wild Card Weekend. On top of that now, you jazz it up and, in fact, give some heat to that game that otherwise wouldn't exist. So let's say you're the Denver Broncos. You now have to go to the podium, Sean Payton, and say who you are choosing to play in the divisional round. And that team's going to be pissed off.
That's a major call out.
That you chose them. Like, you could have taken any team to play. You want us? Oh, now you're going to get it. Now it has an extra gravity to it. See, now I've just jazzed up football a little bit more.
Dave, I'm 100% with you. I've lobbied for this in the NBA for years, especially now with the play-in tournament. Because what happens is it used to be you're the 1 seed, you play the 8 seed or the 7 seed, and that's well and good. I played one of the worst teams, right? But now because of the play-in tournament, the 3 seed knows who they're going to play. So the last day of the regular season, we know who we're going to play. The 4 and the 5 know who they're going to play. The 1 and the 2, they're sitting there, they got to wait a whole week to figure out, am I playing him? Am I playing them? Like, what's going on? And so I said, you should be able to call out your opponents. So that way the 1 seed gets to pick whatever the lowest seed, 5 through 8. Who's my opponent? And then, like you said, you got the whole, on the one hand, yeah, maybe this is a better matchup. Maybe I'd rather play the 7 than the 8. But on the other hand, now that team is like, oh, you think I'm easy? You want to pick on me? Let's do this.
I want to get back to professional wrestling with Zaz and Damashek, but before I do that, it was a fairly enormous football game that was played last night. It was wildly entertaining. I don't think there's a lot of difference between those two teams. I think a lot of people come away saying the Rams are still better. I still think the Rams are better. I don't trust Sam Darnold. He's always going to throw that dumbass interception. But the Rams could be undefeated this year because they've lost 4 one-score games, and some of them are weird losses. Like they were dominating Philadelphia in Philadelphia. They are 4 one-score games from being undefeated, and I trust Stafford to not do what Darnold did last night, ever, even though he did it against Carolina. But, Damashek, what do you make of the fact that they've got these weird losses? Like, that's a collapse last night. The Seahawks had played 155 games trailing by 16 or more and never won one of them until last night.
Well, Dan, you go at me for repeating myself. One thing I've talked a lot with about the gang that you're surrounded by right now is, and to bring it all home, for Tua and Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, the loss on Monday Night Football to the Titans, blowing that 2-score lead on Monday Night Football. It didn't just damn them for the rest of that season. You can make a decent case that caused the entire era that was promising to spiral down. And now the Rams are in that same spot, which is, yeah, they're still probably better than the Seahawks. It was semi-fluky to win the turnover battle to the degree they did, time of possession and everything else, and still lose the game. Nevertheless, they're not going to be the number 1 seed now. And if you have to play an extra game in a league that has become about coin flips when the teams are fairly close to each other, that every game is going to be a 51-49 type of result, then the Rams may have just doomed themselves.
Damashek, I think that I can make the case that is the most devastating loss in Rams history if the window closes on them and they can't win as a 5 seed. Like that, I'm going to have harder time. I don't.
They lost a Super Bowl on a field goal with no time left. Probably worse.
Okay, second. Fair enough. Yes, having the greatest show. My fault. I overreacted. The greatest show on turf lost to the Patriots starting the Brady era. That was obviously worse. I take it back.
Do we even count? A super weird thing in 50 years is when people are going to be looking back through and be like, wait, the Rams were in St. Louis? Wait, they won a Super Bowl and lost the second one while they were there? That's a weird little asterisk in sports history. Yeah, Dan, I think that's exactly right. I mean, if we said, hey, we're going to flip this coin, and if it comes up on the wrong side, I'm going to take one of your digits with this knife here. Okay. You would want to flip it only twice, not 3 times, right? And so who gets the 1 seed? And that's what these games all are, is now Goodell's beloved mediocrity called parity. It is at our doorstep now. And now, it's really hard to divine. I agree with you. The Rams
we all were weirded out by the way you cut off digits. All of us didn't understand what was happening there.
Right. Cutting them off. Like that old Twilight Zone episode, right? Wasn't it a Twilight Zone episode?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sure, I still believe in the Rams a lot, though, because the way they lost that game, without that Rashid Shaheed punt return, we're not having this conversation without a couple of just lucky bounces for the Seahawks. But while watching that game, I did have one burning question for Dave Damashek. What did you think of them Seahawks uniforms, brother?
Juju, a little drab, ultimately. I thought the helmets were fashion forward, iridescent, and all of that. They did look a little Oregonian to me. But overall, combined with the drab gray, color me unimpressed. C+.
Chris, hit the Stat of the Day music for me.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day.
Stat of the Day is presented by Miller Lite.
Trista's dog is licking her laptop.
According to Mike Sando,
Snitch.
The Rams are the first team in NFL history to lose with 500-plus total yards on offense, 0 turnovers, and over 3 opponent turnovers. They're the first team in NFL history to lose having those combined stats.
But Damashek, they got 4 weird ones when they should be undefeated. Like it's
Well,
4
they
of
also
them, right?
could've-
It's
well,
4.
Well, A.D. Mitchell doesn't drop that ball. That would have been a loss that they in a game they won. But I take your larger point there. Yeah, it just doesn't make a difference though. They now have to win probably have to win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. That makes their path that much less likely to end in Santa Clara.
You can't pick them if they have to win 3 road games. You can't
Well, the only way I do it is that Stafford won on the road at Brady, and Brady did this over Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and everyone else. And do I believe that Stafford's the best? Do I believe Puka's totally unstoppable? Do I believe they're super balanced and their pass rush will always make Darnold do that 2 or 3 times a game? Yes, I do. I believe they've put themselves in a bad spot, but Stafford can do it more than Darnold can. That's a disaster loss for the Rams. They've done it the hardest. The hardest. McVay and Stafford now have to do it the hardest possible way with Devontae Adams a little bit hurt. But I saw Seattle get shredded by Baker Mayfield, and I was stunned by what Puka did to that defense yesterday.
Dan, a big difference between even the heavyweight teams in pro football today versus 15 or 20 years ago. You don't have to get in the Wayback Machine to make this point. The best teams get hammered every single one of them. The teams that go on to win the Super Bowl, at some point, if you go back through their regular seasons, they get whipped by double digits somewhere along the way. That didn't used to happen. And I don't mean in the 70s. I mean like the Niners of the 90s or whatever, the Cowboys, they just didn't take 20-point losses. Oh, yeah, they just had a bad day at the office and the Cardinals got them. That just never used to happen. Now it does, and you have to kind of you kind of have to exempt those sort of like a bad day on the golf course when you're submitting your handicap. Your worst loss and your best loss or best win and all that kind of get thrown out, and what's in the middle is what counts, I think. But I think your larger point is exactly right. 3 road games makes it highly unlikely that you're going to get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
And that's that.
Dave,
you got to pull the inside straight.
You are getting me so excited for playoff football. NFL action. Guys, take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today.
Damashek, do you have any idea? And this is why you didn't get invited to the company party, okay? Wow. It's not just the garlic breath. I'm going to need to be honest with you.
Let's talk straight.
Yeah, I'm sorry I have to do this to you in front of people, okay?
on.
Do you know why it is that Roy and Juju, well, Roy was just laughing off mic at something that Juju said.
Do I know? No, of course I don't. I'm in the dark. I didn't get invited to the party. I'm over here.
No, but this is why you're in the dark, friend.
Okay.
Juju.
Nice timing. Respected Dano. Snitches get stitches.
Zaz, go do your job, buddy.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Zaz looking around. Hey, Magic Crate, baby, let's go.
He wants to talk wrestling.
If you're new here,
he's been waiting for 20 minutes. He's been waiting for 20 minutes to talk about the iron-shaped Sheik.
Talk about Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the American Heroes.
Who is your favorite social media follow?
I like to follow Trista. Trista be entertaining on social media. Every sport, too.
That's a good teammate right there.
That seems biased. It is a good teammate, but she's the best follow of anyone to follow, and you're not exactly a follower in the world, okay?
Better than I Show Speed.
Alley-oop, wherever it is you get your podcasts.
I think my favorite follow is this dude named Paul Olima. All he does is mock all these internet videos. So whenever someone's like, I couldn't believe I was, my life was destroyed, but I built myself back up, and then show themselves crying, he always does a reenactment where he puts his phone up. He's like, okay, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. Because it's so weird that people on the internet film themselves crying.
Tony, your favorite?
That's a tough one, Dano. Get back to me.
Okay, thank you. That's good improv. Dave Damashek is doing Football America, and you get it every Monday and Friday. I've got the worst answer here, I think, because I've just checked out on social media. I'd actually like you guys to recommend people because Amin took that question seriously.
Jeremy's fun.
Take every question seriously.
Jeremy who?
Cachet.
Jeremy is the best follow.
For you, I'm trying to curate for you.
That's not.
I think you'd enjoy that.
You think
You think your family?
You think I'd enjoy more eager Jeremy in my life?
Do that again, Chris.
More forever eager Jeremy in my life.
You think your family? Best of the year in review club coming up in a little bit.
Oh wow, that's an exciting one. Yeah. You know what? I have my
Jeremy will be there.
My favorite follow, Flanagan's. Anytime I see Flanagan's on my timeline, all of a sudden I see some garlic rolls, I see some wings, I see a burger, I see the only place for rich.
Flanagan.
There it is.
Kendall Flanagan's in particular.
I mean, come on, talk
The
to
best
me.
of the best.
Give me a zip line.
Talk to him.
Top of the Elser.
Roy was laughing because Juju asked you to breathe. When broadcasting to the people who listen to this show, he was asking you very gently, meditatively, helpfully to breathe.
It was bad. I don't know you, but it was so bad.
What was bad?
Just the breath thing. You just were like nonstop, and it was like all the same tonality, and I just glazed right over.
All right, good stuff. All right, listen. Now, what I talked to Chris Long about was Matthew Stafford may well be your MVP right now, but it doesn't resonate. And why? Versus the Heisman Trophy. A lot of people weighed in on Fernando and whether or not he deserved it in his speech and Diego and all of that. Why does it carry more weight who the best college player is versus the NFL MVP? It's because of the trophy and the quality of the trophy and the iconic name and all of that. That's the assignment for everybody in there today. Come up with what NFL luminary should we name the NFL trophy after so that it does resonate more in 2026 and beyond. So you get not just the NFL MVP. Who remembers who won it 6 or 8 years ago? You will remember, I got the Brady. And then you have the cool
Stop
Brady
talking.
pose. That'd be cool, right?
You got to name it after like Pat Summerall.
Or Pat Summerall. Susie Wiles, old man? I had no idea.
How about that?
I don't want to talk Vanity Fair. All of you.
Stop talking.
With Jeremy Tashi.
Because Jeremy was an alleged journalist last night. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Jeremy, who is an up-and-comer in the broadcasting game and is someone who has now journalistic credentials around, literal credentials around the Heat and the Marlins. Yesterday he was hosting. And this is one of the great things, Stugotz, this time of year. We get it so infrequently around here in South Florida. But South Florida has always done this well. The rest of the country always makes fun of, you guys don't care about that sports that much. You're bandwagon people. All right. Many of us are. Not everyone is. The loyalists are super loyal. But Miami does the bandwagon better than anybody. Miami does. Everyone now show up for the party. And so you have, stunningly, a hockey arena in the Everglades, like surrounded by airboats and alligators, filled with people to do the wave, watching the game on television. And at the Heat, across the street from us last night, Jeremy Taché is watching the end of that game with a lot of people who are excited. And Stugotz, I'm getting a lot of this. Jimmy was out of bounds, and it ended up being a 3. That was a goaltend ref culture win. Okay, whatever. Tell it to the people who were yelling and screaming around Jeremy.
How about this? 1-1, we're coming home.
Okay, who's we?
Yeah, I mean, I took the Heat in 5. Anyone else?
He's right.
All right, the Knicks are watching this like everybody
2
else.
rounds ago.
It was a long time ago, understandably. Here's Jeremy Taché not being a journalist while covering, again, an arena filled with people, but no players or athletes were there.
You're catching us right now as the Miami
of the NBA Finals. You can see that this crowd here is hoisting babies into the air. This crowd is ready from the moment this game started, and it has continued here as the Miami Heat have just upset the Denver Nuggets. We've got fans going crazy. We're high-fiving. Everybody's ready for an unbelievable night right here in Miami. The Kaseya Center was ready for a great night from the jump, as this energy around the entire lower bowl was electric from the moment this game started until the moment it ended. As we pan out to the rest of the crowd, you can see the entire lower bowl going absolutely crazy to end this game. The Miami Heat have just won it as Jamal Murray's shot has not gone in. I cannot believe what I've witnessed around me. There were moments in the fourth quarter where I couldn't hear myself think. I don't even know if you can hear me on the microphone. What a night at the Kaseya Center as the Miami Heat take their first game, their first win in Denver, and I know that this crowd right here is ready for an unbelievable party Wednesday night, Game 3 here in the Heat's house. Guys, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Oh my gosh, Jeremy Taché doing that on one tank of oxygen.
Not a single breath taken. He was like one of those free divers that go down for 20 minutes at the bottom of the ocean. It was a record. And if you cannot, if you're listening just by audio and not watching, what you didn't see in that noise is there were 11 actual babies tossed in the air. Just infants.
Seems
that were,
reckless.
It does, but hey, it's game 2.
Right.
Wait till game 7 of this thing.
Right.
11 babies, a fetus.
It's not going 7. I said 5. I mean,
that's right.
You did mention that.
Yeah.
The energy was actually insane. I don't remember any of that. I feel like I blacked out as that happened. It sounded like I was losing my voice. I wasn't losing my voice. I literally was just unhinged. I don't remember it. It was really amazing.
You blacked out. Excellent work by you, blacking out as a impartial observer of games.
Well, you can't be impartial if you're holding a microphone that says Heat TV.
My job
Right.
is sales
and
in that.
high-fiving.
You're
people.
emceeing.
Yeah.
Emceeing is really sales.
I'm
Right.
there.
Yeah.
I'm there to make sure everybody's ready to be at games 3 and 4. I'm there to make sure that everybody is ready to be at the road rally. Bally Sports, the heart of the fan.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Would the Zeller minutes look the same if you replaced him with a newborn giraffe?
Or that newborn baby that was being hoisted into the air.
The giraffe would just be more distracting. I feel like we'd have more success.
No,
It'd be
Zeller's
like,
plenty distracting.
Porter
He's right
Jr.
now.
would be like, why is there a giraffe on the court?
No. Listen to me. Zeller is a strong human being. He is a big human being. And when he starts balling around there.
I can't take my eyes off of him.
Well, no,
I mean-
nobody can. Nobody can. Jokic, you're hoping to distract Jokic. It's dangerous. It's like having a wrecking ball just move through the court, but it's like on a hinge that's not safe, and it's just swinging through, and you got to be careful because every once in a while they'll put one in with an offensive rebound, but everyone be careful because it might fly into the stands. The Zeller minutes are amazing. Yeah. They're a joy to watch.
Oh.
Ever since Tony pointed it out, those black shoes, they don't
it's
help.
The hair or lack of hair too. It's kind of disturbing.
No, it's also the mask, or just again. I've mentioned that it should be a retainer, a wire that runs outside of his mouth. It's just
like
all
ear to ear
that could impale someone.
And if not for a Theragun, that could be Dwayne Dedman.
Jeremy becomes Jeremy.
Okay, so we got a bear here stumbling around. You see that mirror to the left? He's like, oh, this is weird. There's a lot of weird stuff here. Oh, my God. I just saw myself. Ah! He's like, ah, get out of here. So that's how I imagine a bear would react if they saw Jeremy in the woods.
But that's what they would do to me.
It's really screwed up to do that to a bear, honestly. He's just like not expecting, just like having a nice stroll.
Right.
And just, we'll watch it one more time. This is good fun. Good, clean
great.
fun right here.
It really
He's
is.
just like, oh my God.
And then he's going,
He was definitely
a good-looking bear.
Definitely scarred from that for a few months.
Who puts a mirror in the woods?
It's weird.
That's my question.
How did it get there?
It was probably for the internet video. They probably did that on purpose.
Yeah, but you're messing with bears. I mean,
it's not right.
Leave the bear alone.
Who would do something for the internet visually like that with a bear?
Imagine that.
What are the chances there was a camera right in front of it, too? Jeez. Small world.
Greg, it was interesting. A bunch of people agreed that you had a weekend where The Eagles lost, the Niners lost, so no more undefeated teams. 72 Dolphins could celebrate, but a lot of people saying the Dolphins were the best team in the NFL through 6 weeks. And so I know you're impressed with the offense. Hawk was in here yesterday, Andrew Hawkins, Tomahawk Podcast. He said that Tyreek Hill is the best player, non-quarterback division, in the NFL, and I agree with him. The Dolphins are overwhelming. I'm not certain they're not the best team in the NFL right now, Greg.
I think they are at this minute. They're an underdog in Philadelphia, but only by 2.5 points, which is very interesting. Definitely they have the best offense. I think it's the best offense in Dolphins history. And when I write that, I get a lot of criticism. Too soon. What about this? What about that? Look, the Dolphins won Super Bowls with Larry Zonka because they ran the ball better than anybody and barely passed. They were as exciting as ever and broke NFL records with Dan Marino because they passed the ball like nobody else, but they didn't have a great running game.
Right.
Now they're doing both. They can run the ball like crazy. They lead the league in rushing. Raheem Mostert has 11 touchdowns in 6 games. And Tua is everything they thought he would be when they drafted him number 5 ahead of Herbert. Tua is the favorite in the MVP odds right now.
Should be.
With great reason.
Yep.
And I just think this is the most dynamic, well-balanced, inventive.
Chris, dishwashers, okay?
Yeah.
It saves water.
Yeah.
It saves you time.
Captain America over here.
It's true.
Captain Planet is who you're
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. You almost got that.
Ant-Man over here.
Let's redo it. Hey, restart the program.
No, we're going with this because Amin's got to go. Pluribus. If you watch Pluribus, don't listen to the first 10 minutes of this because ton of spoilers. But if you do, you can lock in on that. We talked about dishwasher. Now I can't remember. We had Jeremy explain his Chinese food order.
And then we kicked him out. You notice he's not here now. We were like, get out of here,
Get
Jeremy.
out of here.
So
Yeah.
Captain Planet is the weakest power to have is heart.
For real.
I never understood it.
Right, I don't want heart.
Right.
Give me wind.
Heart, nothing to do with the planet at all.
That's like when Aquaman is part of the Justice League. Hey, we gotta go fight, whatever. It's like, oh, are we doing it in the water? Like, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
How long have we been in the water though?
That and so much more to get to on the last Mystery Crate of the year. Check it out.
Welcome to another episode of Insights to Mediocrity. I'm Jeremy Taché here with our expert, our superstar, Tony Kaladiu.
Good to be here, Jeremy.
Tony, can today's player hang with you in your heyday?
It's a good question because if you want me to be honest, my heyday was probably around 2017-18. I was playing at ESPN basically every day, playing with guys like Ryan Hollins, playing like former pro guys that were still pretty active. And I would say that's probably the best I ever was in that time. Led the league in scoring at ESPN. I don't even know if we can find those stats. I think we should. I don't know who's out there. Please find those stats for me.
Research team, let's get on that one.
That's where the myth of the 10-day Tony really started. It's like, wait a second, this guy who's here's a production guy is just giving everybody buckets. Like, why is this happening? Where is this coming from? Throwing lobs to Ryan Hollins off the backboard. And it was like, oh, wait, okay. So can they hang with me? Probably. But at that point, I could have probably been somewhere on a 10-day situation. Even on a two-way.
That's why they call him the man, the myth, the legend, 10-day Tony.
Thank you.
Tony, how do you feel about load management?
There's two schools of thought, right? There's a school of thought that I get paid to play and I pay to play, right? That's what differentiates the athletes. You get paid to do this. I pay to do this. I can't load manage because I'm losing money, right? Like when I play in these leagues, I'm giving money to the league to play. So yeah, you're a great athlete to get paid to play, but I pay to play, right? And that's hard-earned money that I'm investing while somebody else is investing because they actually pay for me to play. So, but the point is, the guy who pays for me to play is losing money if I don't play. Therefore, I'm in 40 minutes a game. I'm playing all day. So I don't like load management from the perspective of losing money. I'm not here to lose people money. I'm here to make people money.
All right,
too long.
We've got some massive games in the NFL. Dan, I circled this one on the calendar. Jags Broncos in Denver, a who's who game in the AFC. And then we've got Sunday Night Football, Pats Ravens. Ravens fighting for their playoff lives. Pats need to try and take control of the number 1 seed. And if you're looking to go to any of these games, I want you to take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN, D-A-N, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today.
I have gotten from a source here. Is this Pablo's people who are sending this to us? They say that Tony played 16 games as a senior at Killian High School. Do we want some stats on this? Do we want some stats on Tony's numbers in high school?
I did tear my meniscus the first season, or excuse me, the first practice of the season, tore my meniscus, so I played only half the games. But yes,
practice.
Yeah,
That's
I
brutal.
rehabbed for the first 6 weeks of the year. Had surgery, then had to rehab the entire year, so I didn't play the entire year. But go ahead.
I mean, as a front office person, what do you want or need to see the stats to be for these to be real wise insights into mediocrity?
So first of all, I want to know, is it meniscus repair or they took it out?
No, repair.
Okay, all right.
Is that a good answer or a bad answer?
No, look, meniscus repair is longer recovery.
He's
but
listed
it's
as a
better
power
long-term.
forward. He's pretty undersized for a power forward.
Yeah,
no?
but he can shoot, so he spaces the floor.
And again, you're talking about 2010 was my senior year. We're talking about small ball really not being a thing. We almost initiated small ball in Miami-Dade County. Was our Killian
I've never seen a clip of him in the post.
And the post is dead, buddy. Wake up.
That's true. What's there's an assistant coach on the Heat. It was a former high school coach, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Coach Octavio de la Grana.
There you go.
Used to play
right?
or used to coach at Florida.
What did you
Christian.
just say?
I need you to run that one back.
Octavio de la Grana. Coach.
Bless you.
Everybody?
I heard he was around, the high school scene a
Was.
lot, and taking notes. And he said, "Hey, Coach Spo, you know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this."
Tony, 16 games, 14 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 48% shooting.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, I was 17, 18 years old. You get better as you get older. And
I shot 40% my junior year.
From where?
What do you mean,
Everywhere.
from where? The court.
40%.
From the field, man.
Somebody find me Zaz's stats.
The court.
I need. You shot 40%
Yeah.
as a what were the team records? Killian and how did you
NMB.
Oof, we spanked that ass.
All right, whatever, man.
We went to
You were
regional-
playing against Zaslow's teams?
No, hell no.
No, but
I
I'm
mean,
saying
in a
like
tournament,
it
we
would be
played
the
NMB.
equivalent of playing against Zaslow as a junior.
Oh,
At
man, I would've
North
beat that
Miami
ass.
Beach versus Killian. I don't know what those schools are now in basketball. North Miami Beach has any kind of basketball history?
No, we're not good.
It was you.
Better football.
Killian has a very rich basketball history. And in that time, we had actually our rival school, Palmetto High School, literally separated by 2.5 miles from the schools. Timmy Hardaway Jr. was their best player. And so we went against Timmy 3, 4, 5 times a year in different tournaments and district games, whatever. We lost our district championship. In that year, Timmy, who had 45, was shooting from half court the entire time.
We played those Miami High teams that had their championships stripped. Steve Blake, Udonis Haslem.
Go to teams.
We played against those teams.
I have aired, in a number of different ways over the course of my career and recent weeks, and today most of all, as I stumble to the finish line.
I was going to say, man, you're bringing out all the tricks today.
Just talking about Killian, North Miami Beach, and your high school years before the biggest game in 20 years for the University of Miami, and probably for Texas A&M as well. I have not played enough the sound of a drunk Greg Cody trying to bring this game to life from the seat of an Uber on a long drive home with his son badgering him in the middle of the night wearing holiday clothes that he doesn't like to be in because he wants to be wearing a baseball cap. Drunk breath after a surgical strike of about 40 straight beers brought by a high-powered lawyer, founder of a media company, and several other assassins, including a sniper. Here's Greg Cody lifting us into the sky before the big game.
Biggest game in 20 years. Years.
How much more can I fire you up? I can't fire you up more than that. Look at that. That's old, wizened. That is an elder.
Biggest game in 20
Brandon
years.
Marshall called him Pops the other day.
Game in 20
Look,
years.
listen to me. This is the voice of the Miami Herald.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Newspapers used to matter.
Biggest game in 20
This
years.
program used to matter.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Tony just said a little while ago that he was 17, and you get better after 17. You know who else is 17 years old? Malachi Tony, bruh. Imagine how good that brother is going to be. Yes.
I think he's 18 now. I think
he is?
I think so, but
Still.
it's still ridiculous.
Play on.
Marcel Reed has thrown 6 interceptions in the past 5 games. He makes mistakes. Like I know we analyze this stuff. I don't know what the assessment is supposed to be, Zaslow, off of last night's Seattle and Rams games. They're very good teams. They're excellent if they play each other. I expect Donald to turn the ball over more than Stafford, and I'd like to watch them play the rest of the season. You can get rid of all the other teams if you want. You really can. I'd be fine watching those 2 teams play because I think those are the 2 best teams, most complete teams.
Do you feel any better about Darnold after last night?
No, but they can overcome it. They almost have against the Rams twice. Like, obviously, they're good enough to be able to overcome it. And that's
Seahawks
not
had
even
no
with Smith-Njigba doing anything yet last night. Like,
Right.
They
First half.
They had no business winning that game last night. The Seahawks. I mean, Darnold throws the interception. Down 2 scores. Down 2 scores with 2 2-point conversions. They're down with 9-10 minutes left. And he throws the interception, a terrible interception, on the goal line. And they still managed to come back and win.
But wherever it is that you can't predict turnovers, but you can predict more probable for Darnold to turn them over than for Stafford.
Yeah, and Stafford had 457 yards last night without Devontae Adams. And imagine coming up with that on the fly, finding guys like Davis Allen, finding guys like Tony Ferguson, whatever brother Ferguson name is.
Terrence Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, UFC fighter.
Yeah, oh yeah, he one of them hands.
Kukui.
But yeah, bro, I think Matthew Stafford, he might have cemented himself into the MVP conversation.
With the loss?
With the loss, as well as the Sean McVay. It's going to be hard-pressed to name this coach of the year this year. Imagine the Seahawks. Imagine what they're doing in Chicago. Who is the coach of the year? I can't tell you right now.
Vrabel, too, is doing a great job.
I just love the take, though, that Stafford won the MVP in a loss.
Seaman.
Right. And also, too, that people not talking about enough, the 49ers right now have an opportunity to win out and play every single game, including the Super Bowl, at home throughout the playoffs. Never been done. Amazing.
The other thing I was going to say, though, about however you analyze things that are as random as turnovers, what do you do, Zaslow, as a college football expert, insider, and journalist, with Marcel Reed throws a lot of interceptable passes. Not all of them have been intercepted. He's got 10 turnovers. He's good for 1 a game, and in the last few games, he's had more than you would think he should have. Miami's got a good pass rush. Where it is that this game is obviously going to be decided, like all games, are who's going to turn the ball over. Miami lost when it turned the ball over 4 times against Louisville. That's how they're going to lose. I imagine it's going to be very hard for anybody to blow out Miami, given how balanced they are on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, that's the part that probably I'm most comfortable with, where even if, like, Texas A&M gets out to, 10-0 lead, I think the Canes are going to score on them tomorrow. I think the Canes have way more firepower than Texas A&M. I don't really believe in Texas A&M. Didn't love them at the end of the season. Didn't love the way they looked against Texas. Especially didn't love the way they looked in the second half against Texas.
Or South Carolina before that.
By the way, the game against LSU, too, like, they ended up beating the hell out of LSU in the second half. But that first half, like, LSU was in that game. I think the Canes are going to be too much for them.
This is all homerific as we bring up on the screen. Look at Amin just amused by the yellowing of the newspaper.
Wow.
There it is. What do you have? American 79, North Miami Beach 47.
Well, don't pay attention to the score there, all right, because that was a James Jones-led American high, all right? What are we going to do against all-county James Jones? But look right there in the box score. Zaslow, 2. That's right.
You scored 2 against James Jones.
Yeah, you see James Jones right there. Either 17 or 14.
Old-ass
I don't know
box
which one was
score.
him. But yeah, James Jones had himself a game. Me right there. So I countered his 17 with 2. Whatever.
This is something Greg Cody loves to write of newspaper that looks like this.
That's me.
The color of unbrushed teeth.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Listen to me through teeth that are unbrushed.
Biggest game in 20 years.
That smell like 40 Miller Lights brought by Sniper, media founder, and his high-powered lawyer wife.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Texas A&M and UM is what?
Biggest game in 20
For
years.
which of the two teams?
Biggest game in 20 years.
Texas A&M doesn't win 10 games a season, Zaslow.
game in 20
Not even with
years.
Manziel.
Tony, do you have your name in a newspaper like that?
I do. Back in the day, that's before the internet. We would have the names of the newspaper. To actually have my name
Hell
as like an
yeah.
8th grader. You know, Claudio, 28 points, whatever.
Dan, they pulled up Tony's stats here, and the more I've been thinking about it, like, these are pretty good stats, man. First of all, shot 40% from 3 on good volume, 60 attempts in only 16 games. Second of all, when you take out those 3-point attempts, guess what your field goal percentage is? 55% from the field. This guy was an efficient player, and he bangs on the boards too. What's that, 6.5 rebounds a game?
Somewhere I had it double-double. Somewhere maybe I didn't go after him as much, but, you know. We were
Again, one of the great failures of my career that before this game we were talking about Tony's Killian high school sports stats instead of our beloved mentor explaining to us from every angle how important this college football game is within 24 hours, 25 hours.
20 years.
Not a lot of assists for Tony in that stats, but you know.
I mean, somebody needs
Can't
to
do
score.
everything.
Somebody needs to score.
Damashek said that Amin is one of these cools. Why didn't you respond to that?
Because I was laughing. It was funny. It was really funny how he talked, because he described it as grab ass, like what they were doing. And
They were.
Ayo.
They were.
Is PDA appropriate at a holiday party when there's a new person there that's just trying to get a sense of the playing field?
Why were there public displays of affection between you and your dog? It's what I was asking before. Like, it's why I was. I thought it was strange that somebody who had been here for 2 days brought an animal around food.
I'll tell you right now, that dog had some PDA with that laptop.
He was licking the mouse.
Going
Pause.
to town.
What is happening, and I want real honesty from you here because I don't know what the strangest thing was from a careening holiday party. I don't know whether it was the Greg Cody surgical strike of beers.
Biggest game in 20 years.
I don't know whether it was Frankie dressed as Dominican Blade.
That was great.
And yes, that's our security. Like, he has to go to the fight with you guys if you go, right? Frankie's got to go.
Whoa, if you
Dressed
go,
like that.
what is it? Does that mean you're not going now?
I'm trying to think of what the group should be. I'm not sure what. I think it should be a surprise who ends up going, but I think somebody in our group should be going and representing the show, and somebody needs to eat spaghetti out of a bag.
Guys, this sounds like a foist. It went from Dan's going to eat spaghetti out of a bag to someone from the show needs to go eat spaghetti out of a bag.
We need a fat guy to do it, so it's either me, Zaz, or Chris. Zaz says it's too late for him. I don't know what's going on with Chris. I need 5 people, one of whom is funny eating spaghetti out of a bag.
I'm not calling anybody the F word, but I think we should get Stunt Dan. Stunt Dan definitely needs to be there. Danny got to be there. I think also Brother Robert, that be sitting back there with the collar shirt. Bob, he got to go, bro. And we got to send Ethan Badowski. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Why? Star turn. Look at that.
Okay,
You feel
these
me?
are terrible decisions. These are terrible.
Tony's right.
That's not representing our show correctly.
Yes, it is, Dan. Everybody here, the holiday party last night showed me everybody is so valuable here that, man, it don't even matter. Send 5 of any of us. We going to get it done.
Wait a minute.
Dan has to go. I'm not going to allow this, or we're going to legislate this way of like, oh, the show was represented. Like, no, you have to go because that's the whole point. Netflix wants to say, and there's Dan Le Batard, and he's eating spaghetti out of a bag, as opposed to there's a guy who kind of looks like Dan Le Batard, but he's a little shorter.
Dan Le Batard sitting next to a guy eating spaghetti out of a bag, I think is funnier.
Just you next to Danny B.
It should be Dan and then Dan's double with a gray beard eating the spaghetti.
Let's take Dan's double. There he is.
I think you guys should have Danny go and just say, used to be with ESPN, doesn't look the way that he used to. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Le Batard. And we should pass it off as it is me, as an imposter. Like, we should give him my clothes, allow him to go, maybe sit next to
Lebo hat
Valerie.
on.
Bring Valerie up. Gotta bring Valerie.
A Lebo hat, maybe public displays of affection between him
PDA.
and Valerie and Trista's dog.
Danny just said I'm in.
Trista's dog should be there.
For sure.
Valerie wanted Ollie. She was lobbying for another dog, and somehow, which I don't know if anyone else knows the story, 2 seconds into her meeting Ollie, I found out there was like a vicious dog attack and a cat that almost died inside of the Le Batard household. Her leg was viciously injured.
What kind of circus you running?
The dog almost died, That was a crazy night.
Damn.
The dog.
No, so one of the worst decisions my wife has ever made is to bring a pit bull into a home that's got 2 cats and have me stand between them when they want to fight.
Like a foster or like a rescue, right?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Oh, Trista, this is going to break your heart as somebody who loves animals. Like, they just dump them off to live for themselves and fight in the wild in the Redlands, and they're beautiful animals. And they just dump them in the wild to survive. So this is a super anxious one, but a really bad decision to bring him into a house full of cats when the cat thinks he's boss and he's right. The male cat named after Otis Redding doesn't like me and runs the house. And didn't like a pit bull being in the house. And so there was a fight, and they had to settle it. And my wife got bit, like, in a place that was dangerous. But the worst of it was me and the cat. I'm holding the cat. You cannot get between these animals. And the cat's got me on the wrists. And I'm starting to bleed, and it's screeching at me.
So it's not even declawed?
No, that's anti-PETA. You can't declaw a
No,
cat.
it's terrible. It's a terrible thing to do to a cat. But so I'm looking at this cat in the eyes, and this cat is grabbing my wrists and wants to fight the pit bull. And I say to him, and I didn't say it out loud, no, you are the man of this house. I'm sorry for everything that's happened here, and I must let you go now because you run things now. Because he just shredded me and wanted to kill that pit bull. But my wife got bit by the pit bull because you're not supposed to get in the way of those things.
Imagine a cat thinking it runs a Zaslow mansion.
I get it. I understand exactly why it is you would mock me on this.
Somebody's declawed in the Le Batard household.
That's
It's
what
not the
happened.
cat.
I saw it happen. I looked into that cat's eyes, and I'm like, you're more of a man than I am. I was bleeding. I was bleeding down my elbows. Like, I didn't have claws.
I would have thrown it so far across the just chucked it.
Well, punted it.
You think I couldn't, or you think I didn't try? Like, it embedded itself in me. Didn't you guys see I was having a Greg Cody bad arm day when I came in here?
yeah.
My arms were all bloody. How have we not played the sound of your father drunk more today?
Biggest game in 20 years.
I just don't understand how your dad was like. Okay, he was clearly drunk, but he doesn't understand what it means when you say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, no, whisper biggest game in 20 years. What do you mean by that?
No, let's play the entire thing. I do want to marvel at this because this is the toddler Erlene married, and this is the toddler who raised Chris Cody. Once he gets a dozen in, he doesn't understand anything.
All right, so whisper fake pregame show.
I don't know what you mean.
Fake pregame show.
I don't know what that means.
Fake pregame show. Fake pregame
No,
show.
wait.
Whisper it.
Do it.
Fake pregame show.
Again.
Fake pregame show.
Biggest game in 20 years.
Biggest game in 20 years.
University of Miami.
University of Miami.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
That kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Whisper it. That kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Just do again. Fake pregame show.
Oh, for the love of God.
Pregame show.
Fake pregame show.
Fake pregame show.
Pregaming it.
Pregaming it.
Pregaming it.
Pregaming it.
I did not hear the first time around, though, for the love of God.
That's exactly how my dad became at the end of his career, where it's like we're badgering him for the last bits of drunken breath we could turn into content. And it's like, get out of here.
Just do again. Fake pregame show.
Oh, for the love of God.
For the love of God, I would like the whole world to know right now, and I'm in the predicting game. Since I'm here in Miami, the New England Patriots will lose their first playoff game this year. They are the biggest frauds in the NFL right now. They done beat up on the Dolphins, the Titans, the Browns, the Bengals, the Jets,
Didn't
the
they beat
Saints.
your Bills?
Yeah, and what happened last? What have you done for me lately, young Trista? Exactly. Is that the Mondo? They're frauds.
And
They beat the
wait,
Giants.
wasn't the last game that you guys played against the Patriots? You were on the ropes until the very last second?
You're line stepping. I think, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruh, just mark my word. It don't sound right now, but they will lose their first playoff game this year.
I do believe that after last night's game, most of us are feeling that whatever is being played for in terms of trying to discern whether Josh Allen will get to the championship game is who's the third best team in the league. We just watched the two best. the two most balanced football teams playing football. And the only problem Seattle has is their quarterback going to turn the ball over? Sam Darnold's got the best winning percentage in the sport the last 2 years. He wins a ton. Like, that game's ridiculous. You get down 16 plus, and you lose that game 155 out of 155 times before this. But he won it. And he won it, and there was fluky stuff that happened, but I understand that there was a special teams touchdown, but at the end, and there was a weird 2-point conversion, but the game got won by the quarterback, and that quarterback has the best winning percentage in the sport the last 2 years, and nobody cares because they don't trust him.
The tough thing is he's just never done it in the postseason. Regular season, Sam Darnold for the Vikings, and then it's just, pumpkin.
I mean, this was the biggest win of his career.
For sure.
But still, you're going to get to the postseason. All right, you got to do it here, man.
And it wasn't, dominant. It was this is a weird 2-point conversion. It looked like
fluky.
it felt like you
got
just kind of
3.
squeak wind.
Right, they got 3 2-point conversions. Is that a record?
That might be a record.
Well, help me with the, I'm going to call it Achilles heel or fatal flaw of this. The Rams have lost 4 one-score games ridiculously. 4 one-score games where you're like, yeah, I kind of know they're still better. It's, obviously they're better than Carolina on the road, but wow, that's weird. Stafford with 3 turnovers, that never happens. That's never going to happen again.
I would say it's just football, though, right? The Chiefs last year were great in one-score games, and now this year they were terrible, but that happens.
Okay, but then the Eagles game, they're up 24-7 or whatever it is on the road, and then it's blocked field goals and absurdity at the end where you're like, Philadelphia's not better than them.
It's kind of like the Broncos. The Broncos' long winning streak or whatever, I think it's the margin has been something like 75 points that entire time. Every game has been incredibly close for them.
Grit.
Is that what it is, though? Or is it like this? If this were not Stafford, if this were happening to a team that was led by a quarterback you doubt, you'd be like, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with them that they're clearly better than everybody? Didn't we just do this to Jordan Love by just merely losing to Carolina and Cleveland, where we're like, I don't trust them. They can't. Yeah, that's football, but nobody that's really good has its ability to get the number 1 seed and a bye in the playoffs affected by losing to Cleveland and Carolina.
The team you're talking about is literally the opposite team of the Rams who played last night. You're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. You're talking about a quarterback that you kind of don't really trust. They lost to the Niners by 4. They lost to the Bucs by 3, and then they lost to the Rams by 2. Those are their 3 losses. So you're talking about 6-7 points between all those games, and you don't trust the quarterback, and you're looking at them and be like, that's a weird team. They should be undefeated, yet they're not.
Can you give me, please, when we talk about these turnovers, how many does Seattle lead the league in offensive turnovers? Is there another team that has turned the ball over more than Seattle? Because I saw that Sam Darnold said that, and it must be so, right? If Tua's got 15 interceptions, I assume they've got fumbles here and there as well. But I think that Seattle has turned the ball over 24, 25 times, and Chicago led the league as recently as this weekend with causing 29 turnovers.
Vikings with 27, Seahawks with 26, as per StatMuse.
Do you know how good you have to be to have their point differential, their record, when you're turning the ball over that much? They're playing better than their quarterback's deficiencies. They're balanced beyond their quarterback's deficiencies. Last time they played the Rams in Los Angeles, they had 4 turnovers and were trying for a 61-yard field goal to win the game at the end.
That shit's going to kill you, though, in the playoffs. I understand they had one of those nights yesterday, and they still ended up winning.
But what if you only have to play 2 games as opposed to the Rams now have to play 3? What if you get a bye? This is how the Patriots cheat code was for 20 years. They just had to play 2 games, and oftentimes they're playing a beat-up bad team that did an upset, and so they're no good going on the road.
No, it feels like that's the way. You better only have to play 2 games.
But that's what caught last night was giant. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Seattle will cough this up from here because football is weird. But the best team in the sport, to most people's eyes, just took the hardest possible path when football's random, and we trusted that coach and that quarterback, and they bleeped it up last night.
Well, what's crazy is if Seahawks offensively are second in turnovers, defensively in terms of caused turnovers, they're second as well. So it sort of balances itself out.
At Panthers and at 49ers are the Seahawks' final 2 games, so kind of tough. And the Rams at Falcons and Cardinals, really easy. So Seahawks are game up. and I don't know if I look in the division would be the tiebreaker then for the two of them. Seattle is 3-2 in the division. Rams are 3-2. Like, it could totally come down to the very end.
What are the 49ers, though? Like, because the 49ers have something to say.
Yeah, the Niners are even in the loss column with the Rams, one back of Seattle. And, yeah, so it might come into play. Mm-hmm.
We're looking at Sam Darnold
and
going...
they're 4-1 in the division.
28-6 in 2 years, right? Like, that's where on the doorstep. If they win these last two games, they went 14-3 last year, they're going to go 14-3 this year. That's 28-6. We thought the NFL had figured out Sam Darnold, right? Like, we had the conversation with Damashek about, has Tua been figured out by the NFL? Defensive coordinators have figured him out. He's now dust. That was Sam Darnold 2 years ago, before they picked him up when he was in San Francisco. Can we see something like this happen with Tua where somebody else gets him and then all of a sudden he has a revitalization of his career? Like, the book is closed.
Sam's brain still works.
This is the part, though. No, see, this is the part where everybody distrusts Sam Darnold. This is super rare, what I'm about to say. Sam Darnold's playing in a giant football game last night, and we're now making the ones that Sam Darnold loses, the giant ones, because he's won all of the others, and we still question Sam Darnold because he hasn't done it in the playoffs. As soon as Darnold, when that game was 14-13 or whatever it was, and Darnold throws that ridiculously stupid interception that gives the Rams an easy touchdown, everybody looked at the television and said, yep, that's what Darnold's going to do. That's how they're going to lose. And if Stafford does it, you think a spaceship has landed on the field because and that's the analysis of those two teams. I trust one quarterback. I don't trust the other one.
Juju's right, by the way. The Niners are still totally
in
it.
That's they're going to sneak in here with that broken-ass team.
Like the Niners can finish first in the NFC. The Rams could finish third in that division. Still make the playoffs, but third in that division because the Niners won the first game against Seattle, and they're playing the last game of the season, which is destined to be Sunday Night Football.
And with all those injuries they had, Fred Warner and such as people like that, and the Brandon Ayuk saga, how can Kyle Shanahan not be considered Coach of the Year with that performance?
Bosa, too, is supposed to be out on the defense. The only one who's always out there are McCaffrey and Trent Williams.
Mac Jones won games this year.
McCorkle was great for a couple games, by the way. And Purdy's been playing really good ball.
That's absurd. It really is absurd that the 49ers, after 5 years of being like second to the Chiefs on what's the best organization in the sport, can get there with any quarterback. Them doing it with this team quietly, where it's even more injured, right? Because Kittle missed a bunch of games at the beginning of the season. Zaz, who is your favorite person to play, about that with? You've played it with
Amin's really good at it, because I like doing it for NBA, but I'm thinking a little bit something different today. Can we do a little bit of, about that? Come on now.
With who? With Amin?
Patience, Dan. Let's let the music kick in. Get excited for a second. Oh, God. I mean, you see why a cat controls your house. We're going to do about that.
I was bleeding from the elbows.
With Trista. Yeah, right. That's right. Amin, don't be offended. I can see a little bit in your eyes. You're like, man, I'm offended because I like doing about that. I'm doing it with Trista today.
Coward.
All right, Trista, you ready? Do you know how
ready.
this game goes?
No, explain it to me. Okay.
Trista, I'm going to throw some NBA topics at you, and you're going to tell me if you know about that. First up here. There are rumors that the Milwaukee Bucks, they may not be trading Giannis. They may actually still try to impress Giannis so that he stays, and they may do that by trading for Zach LaVine. The Kings want to trade everybody. Trista, you know about those Milwaukee Bucks Zach LaVine rumors?
Yeah, apparently the Milwaukee Bucks think that they can entice Giannis to stay. Giannis also is very shaky in terms of whether he's 10 toes down or on his way out. Zach LaVine, though, is the bucket getter that the Milwaukee Bucks need. This is what the Chicago Bulls thought, Zaz. This is what the Sacramento Kings thought, Zaz. They should just throw in DeMar DeRozan while they're at it.
All right, sounds like Trista knows about that Zach LaVine. Trista, the Sporting News. I don't know about this report, but I saw this. The Sporting News put out there that the Warriors should consider cutting ties with Steph Curry. You know about that?
According to some random person on Sporting News, and then re-reported on Yahoo, which made me feel like, is this verifiable? Steph Curry's going to be on the moves. They're cutting ties with him this year to maybe send him to the Houston Rockets?
God, when she said, huh,
I thought the same thing.
Oh, my God.
I heard,
huh. It was so close to being hate.
What?
Yeah. What?
I swear.
Chris thought it too.
Send him to the
No, that's not the part I'm saying what to.
Oh.
Cut ties? What?
That part's
Fake
weird,
news. Gotta be fake news.
All right, sounds like you know about that fake news. Trista, the NBA Cup was I think it was a success, and for the third year in a row, they did it in Vegas. But they're considering moving the NBA Cup final to maybe college venues like Cameron Indoor Stadium. You know about that?
Apparently, Adam Silver just wants to change everything that's good or that we've started to like into something that we absolutely hate. Cameron Indoor, smaller venue, harder to get to, absolute terrible take to go into a college stadium. I think Vegas is the ultimate place to go, especially with the weather as bad as it is this time of
I mean,
year.
Chris, when she said, it was...
I was so excited.
Me too!
Houston Rockets.
I mean, they've turned on Silver. Everyone now he's the clown commissioner.
Yes.
Now he's the fool.
I'm not gonna say that, but that is a fool ass idea. Cameron Indoor, it's a dump.
And it holds like 6,000 people.
It's a dump with a P on it.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is Cameron Indoor a dump with a P on it?
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows it's a bad arena.
Same way everybody knows that Derek Jeter.
Bad guy.
Sounds like Trista knows about that Cameron Indoor being a dump. Trista,
Game doesn't work if she knows about everything.
do you know that the Dallas Mavericks, they may be considering trading Klay Thompson, maybe trading him back to the Warriors? You know about that?
Ooh, also Anthony Davis. Apparently, Klay Thompson said this wasn't this. I didn't sign up for all of this, as I signed up for Kyrie Irving. I signed up for Luka Doncic. It feels actually like Klay Thompson might be trying to push his way out versus the Mavericks shopping him.
You know about that, Dan?
I would have assumed that Klay Thompson was spent as a basketball player.
Well, he's with Megan the Stallion.
I'd be spent too.
Tony,
he is spent, Dan. Spent like
Tony,
somebody else I know.
You know about that Megan the Stallion?
Buddy, I know.
All right.
Buddy, you know?
I mean, I got her confused one time with, like, Nicki Minaj. So
You did. It's embarrassing.
Sucker move.
Whatever. I can't know everybody. Finally, Trista, Trae Young made his return last night in a loss for the Hawks. You know about that, Trae Young?
Do I know about Trae Young? Didn't know until this morning, Zaz, that he actually returned. But I think they're actually shopping Trae Young still. I think this is a move to get his value up as high as possible and figure out a way to maybe get Giannis to the Atlanta Hawks.
You know about that, Dan?
Trista thinks that the whole thing with
He didn't
Giannis
tell me what it was.
is soap opera. It's marriage couple counseling, trying to make it work after 3 efforts, and that Giannis is just going to stay there, and we're wasting our time talking about it.
I don't believe in marriage counseling. I told my wife years ago, if we ever get to a place where you suggest we should go to marriage counseling, just give me the divorce papers.
What? Yeah. Hold on. Stop the segment.
I don't do that.
What?
Yeah.
I think everyone in a healthy marriage, everyone in not a healthy marriage needs marriage counseling.
No, I think therapy's good.
Isn't that the same thing?
Where we both go and we're explaining all the things that we're mad at each other about? No, that's not for me.
Matthew Berry is here. It's unfortunate because I want to talk about this with Zaslow, but we don't have time.
I'm running out of time,
We
Dan.
need fantasy. We need him to make us some money.
Matthew Berry.
Roll Tide.
Matthew Berry.
Roll Tide.
Matthew Berry.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
That is right. Roll Tide, Dan. My son's a junior there. Roll Tide. Big game for us tonight. I don't think Oklahoma beats them for a second time. Here's what else I think, Dan. That since taking over as a starter, Jacoby Brissett is the 5th best quarterback in fantasy football. He's had at least 18 points in all 9 of his starts. And under Brissett, no team in the NFL has a higher pass rate than the Arizona Cardinals. And 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks to face Atlanta have scored at least 19 fantasy points. Since week 9, the 8th best quarterback in fantasy is Jared Goff. Over that stretch, he's averaging 290 passing yards per game. Over that stretch, only Matthew Stafford has more touchdown passes than Goff, not counting last night. By the way, the last 6 quarterbacks to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have all scored at least 18 fantasy points. And since week 8, no team has given more passing yards per game than the Buccaneers. They're playing Bryce Young, so let's not get crazy. I have Young at quarterback 20, but I'm just saying you could do worse if you're desperate than Bryce Young this week. By the way, Bucky Irving's had at least 17 touches in every game he's played this season. I mentioned the touches because 7 of the 9 running backs that have seen at least 15 touches against the Panthers have scored at least 16 fantasy points. Since week 8, by the way, Panthers bottom 5 in rushing yards per game and yards per carry allowed to running backs. In each of his past 3 healthy games, Tyrone Tracy has finished as a top 13 running back. He's averaging over 19 points a game in those games. Vikings have allowed an opposing running back to score in 7 of their last 8. You're not going to get this one, Dan, but believe it or not, since week 11, the 8th best running back in fantasy football is Kenneth Gainwell. He scored at least 16 fantasy points in 4 of the last 5 games. He's averaging 18 points per game. He's got a 16% target share. That's 5th among all running backs, and the over-under in the Steelers-Lions game is 52.5 as of this moment. That's the highest on the Week 16 slate. Speaking of that game, since Week 9, Jameson Williams, the 6th best wide receiver in fantasy. He's had at least 16 fantasy points, 6 of the last 7. He's had 3 straight games with a 26% target share or more. Steelers allow the 7th highest completion rate on passes of 15-plus air yards or more. I like Jameson Williams over on his longest reception on Sunday. Only the Dallas Cowboys have given more touchdowns to opposing wide receivers than the Detroit Lions, just so you know as well. In the first game back last week, Mike Evans had a 37.5% target share, targeted on 43% of his routes. Panthers have allowed at least 18-plus fantasy points to an opposing wide receiver in 4 of the last 5. How about this one? Over the last 2 games, Dallas Goedert has a 30% target share, and only 2 teams in the NFL have allowed more touchdowns to opposing tight ends than my beloved Washington Commanders. Give me an anytime touchdown for Dallas Goedert. They've also given up at least 10 fantasy points to a tight end in 7 of the past 8. Last one now. We talk about tight ends against the Bengals. That's the only team that get the Cincinnati Bengals have allowed 15 touchdowns to opposing tight ends this year. That's 5 more than any other team. 5 more. Darren Waller has seen 58% of Miami's end zone targets when he's healthy. So give me Darren Waller for an anytime touchdown week as well.
Matthew Berry.
Roll time.
Matthew Berry.
Roll time.
Matthew Berry.
Roll time.
FantasyLife.com if you want more Matthew Berry information. Thank you, Matthew. Happy holidays, sir.
I appreciate it, Dan. Happy holidays to everyone. Roll Tide, and FantasyLife.com. Let's go.
Thank you, sir.